I'm Doug Brown. Jacques Vaughn is now the head coach of the Nets. The team removes the interim label today, 8 days after firing Steve Nash. Brooklyn decides not to bring in former assistant Ime Udoka. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski.
It is a very difficult time of the year to bring in a coach from the outside, and I think for the Nets, another coaching change would have made for a third head coach this season. They're going to stay with Jacques Vaughn now as they try to get this team righted and into the playoff conversation in the East.
Adrian Wojnarowski. The Astros announced Dusty Baker will stay on as manager next year, but the world champs won't commit yet to a new deal for GM James Click. His contract expired on Halloween, 5 days before the team wrapped up the World Series title. Coastal Carolina quarterback Grayson McCall will miss the rest of the regular season with a foot injury. He got hurt last time out against Appalachian State. WNBA star Brittany Griner has been moved to a Russian penal colony. This transfer was expected, but not this soon.
Halloween is over, but hiring is still a bit scary? Indeed's end-to-end solution helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
It is hump day.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's hump day.
Hump day!
You know what last night was, don't you?
It's hump day.
Muse, what was last night?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It was matching.
Oh, it was.
Hump day!
Otter had a good night.
It's hump day.
Did he?
2-0-1. Give him another one. There it is. And actually,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
If you got Eastern Michigan at 6.5 instead of 6, he was 3-0.
Hump day!
You know what else was last night, don't you?
Yeah, the college football playoff
The
rankings.
stupid college football playoff rankings. Nobody freaking
It's
cares
hump
about.
day.
Everybody pretends to care about it. Maybe you think you should care about it, but you really care about it last night.
Mike. What day is it,
We'll
Mike?
talk about that stupidity here in a minute.
Hump day!
Russ Mitchell in hour 3.
It's hump day.
Do you know how many people
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
have blown up my phone since Saturday?
Hump day!
Conservative estimate, 300.
Emails,
It's hump day.
tweets,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
texts,
Hump day!
Facebook messages,
It's hump day.
Instagram DMs.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Where's your boy Russ Mitchell?
Hump day!
Oh, he'll be here
It's hump day.
in hour 3.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
All right, let's get going. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Hump Day Show, of course, brought to you by Pluckers. By the way, it is tip-off of the Matt McMahon era tonight. LSU against Kansas City, 7 o'clock at the Maravich Center. So got some basketball tonight. T-Bob and I will be over at Oliver Twist for Scone and Tea at 7 o'clock. So if maybe you're at home watching the basketball game on TV, put that on mute and watch me and T-Bob over at Oliver Twist for Scone and Tea. Okay. Brian Kelly and Sam Pittman both did meet with the media. today on the SEC Coaches Teleconference to update their team's preparation. One of the things that's massively impressive, and I know this has been talked about a little bit, is that Brian Kelly has won 17 consecutive November games. He had won 16 straight at Notre Dame, and now with the win over Alabama on Saturday, he has won 17 consecutive games in November. As a matter of fact, on the teleconference today, he was asked about that November streak.
Good players. You're going to have good players. I think it's really about starting this process with an eye towards making sure that, November is when you want to be your best. So January, February, March, all those months have to be measured, and it's a long year, and you got to be careful in the way you train. And taking a 365-day view at this with an idea that you want your team peaking in November and December.
By the way, that's not anything new. If you Google search Brian Kelly November, you will see articles as early as like 2013 calling him Mr. November. So this is something that is not necessarily, it's another reason why I'm comfortable with LSU going to Arkansas this weekend. And we'll talk about it a bit more, but it really is Brian Kelly. The reason I'm comfortable is Brian Kelly. He exudes that amount of confidence because of his preparation, and his team has followed suit. So we'll talk plenty about that throughout the day. As a matter of fact, 1 hour from right now, we'll delve deep into that. We'll give you an update on KJ Jefferson as well, the Arkansas quarterback, who is still battling that shoulder injury, and they're bringing him along slowly, which is a major key to this week's game up in Arkansas. The college football playoff rankings were revealed, and you know how I feel about this. I will discuss this because many of you have interest in it, and it's a thing, and LSU is prominently placed in them, so I'll talk about it begrudgingly, because I loathe how much attention we give this. If you were watching last night, and I didn't watch, and Muso, Paul, you can attest to this, I door-dashed Plucker's wings here. After the show ended, I cut my pro. What did I do, Moose? What did I do? Cut my promo, and
you left.
I left.
You left.
As they were starting to unveil the rankings, I was like, oh, look, Florida State's 23, and I walked out. Don't care. By the way, whenever I was telling you how much I didn't care, you did ask me what I thought LSU would be ranked.
I did.
What did I say?
You said, I don't care, 7.
And LSU was ranked?
7?
7. It's so predictable what these goons are going to do. It's just predictable what they're going to do. Was there anything surprising to you in these?
No.
A week ago, TCU people melted because they were so, how the disrespect of TCU. Shut up. Keep playing. Georgia and Tennessee were going to play each other. They did. Tennessee lost. They're out of the top 4. TCU won impressively. They're in. Guess what? TCU goes to Texas this week. Texas is ranked 18th. If Texas, which is a 7-point favorite over TCU, beats TCU, all of the bitching about TCU last week don't matter. Good, you're in now. And guess what? You lose to Texas, you're out, chumps. So shut up and keep playing football. Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Michigan 3, TCU 4. Guess what? 2 and 3 are going to play each other at the end of the season. So one of them are going to be out. There's room, y'all. It happens every year. I went over it yesterday. The first year of the college football playoff, in the first rankings, Ohio State was 16. In the second rankings, they were 14. They ended up winning the national championship that year. Just keep playing. If you're curious, Tennessee dropped from 1 to 5. LSU is 7. Alabama in these rankings fell to number 9. Clemson, with their loss, fell to number 10. If you're as an LSU fan, this is so crazy. Can you play this is Honey Boo Boo, the head of the college football thingamajig, talking about if 2 losses holds LSU back.
Well, as you know, conference championships, head-to-head competition are all part of it. They've got that early season loss to Florida State, the other loss to LSU. They've come back strong since then. What an incredible game on Saturday night down at LSU that they were able to win, go for 2, and get that win. And as we look at it, we'll continue to evaluate.
I'm sorry, did you say anything at all? Moose, did you omit anything from that cut?
I did not.
Yeah. So he was asked, does 2 losses hold LSU back? What a great win. Well, they had that early season loss to Florida State and the other loss to LSU. Of course. Yeah, he said LSU lost themselves. He meant Tennessee. What a great win. Going for 2. We'll evaluate. So you told me nothing about anything because you were all just going to make it up as you go and do whatever you want to do in the end. If you're LSU, the only thing you can do is keep winning. Just keep winning. The one scenario that I'll tell you if you're an LSU fan that you should fear is what happened in 2016. And in 2016, it's not apples to apples, but it's the closest thing. There has never been, as we know, a 2-loss Power 5 conference champion to make the playoff. We know that. The closest was in 2016 when 2-loss Penn State was left out. Penn State beat Ohio State, won the Big Ten championship game against Wisconsin 38-31, and instead, 1-loss Ohio State got in. And their only loss, of course, was to Penn State. So Ohio State did not play in the Big Ten championship game. They had a head-to-head loss to Penn State, but Ohio State got in anyway. Penn State that year lost an early season game to Pitt on the road, 42-39. Sound familiar? And then a blowout road conference loss to Michigan, 49-10. Very similar to LSU's path. The close non-conference loss, the blowout conference loss at 2 losses. They went to the conference championship game. They beat Wisconsin 38-31 and were left out despite having a head-to-head over Ohio State and a conference championship game. In this scenario, LSU does not have a head-to-head against Tennessee, but that would be your fear. If you're LSU and you go and you win out and you beat Georgia in the SEC championship game and you're a 10-2 conference champion, would 1-loss Georgia, 1-loss Tennessee get in over you? That's the fear. That's the scenario that could potentially unfold if you're LSU. And that's the precedent from 2016. The difference is, in 2016, Penn State's conference championship game was against Wisconsin. It's a massive difference from Penn State beating Wisconsin in 2016 in the Big Ten championship game and potentially LSU beating undefeated, defending national champ, number 1 undefeated ranked Georgia. That's probably the thing, in my view, which would propel LSU into the playoff. But again, you've still got to clear 4 hurdles. You've got to beat Arkansas, UAB, Texas A&M, and then the biggest hurdle of them all, go to Atlanta and beat Georgia if all that plays out that way. But we have a month to talk about it, which is why the rankings right now don't matter. But I, begrudgingly, will sit here and talk about it because I know you all want to. So if you're an LSU fan, cheer against Tennessee. It's my best advice. Hope Tennessee somewhere along the way stubs their toe and And if you're worried about LSU losing to Georgia and ending up in maybe the Citrus Bowl because Tennessee and Alabama would be ranked ahead of a 3-loss LSU, then cheer against Alabama as well. And look, cheer against hope Ole Miss goes and beats Alabama this weekend. And if that happens, LSU would need to win out. But you hope Alabama takes another loss, either to Ole Miss or to Auburn in the Iron Bowl. And that would essentially assure LSU a spot in the New Year's Six at worst, and at best, a playoff spot. We'll continue listening to Honey Boo Boo every week. Makeup is nonsense. All right, we're brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Last week I told you Hudco became the very first ever Louisiana-based roofing company to install a certified fortified roof. And it happened right here in Baton Rouge. A fortified roof. Some of the changes are kind of minimal. It may seem minimal, but it goes a long way into fortifying your home against storms. And in essence, what it'll do is help lower your insurance premiums as well. Got a great video produced by the great Will Stout as well on all the Hudco social media with a fortified representative. If you want to learn more about a fortified roof, how it can save you up to 50% on your insurance premiums, find out. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. All right, it is after further review. Let me knock out a quick break, y'all. When we come back, we'll get to the Saints injury report, and the Saints have added a running back as well in advance of this week's game in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. We'll get to that next here on AFR.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star You Know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and only 96 calories. It's Miller time.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Yeah, I just think more consistency is what we're looking for. You know, we haven't done it consistently enough where we put offense, defense, special teams together, and we've had too many games where there's been, a phase or two that hasn't operated in a way that we think gives us an opportunity to win. And so I think that's the biggest thing, just team consistency and putting all 3 phases together for a full 60 minutes.
That was Dennis Allen, Saints coach, teleconference earlier today with members of the media. So that was on Tuesday evening. So We'll get to a little more of what Dennis Allen had to say in the Saints injury report, which is out as well. I did get a text into the show from Greg who said, I'm just here to dance on Russ's grave. That's why we saved the Russ segment to dunk on his ass. I forgot about that. Remember when Russ no-showed for a little period there? What was that? That was...
It's like Auburn, and then or no.
Didn't he miss like 4 weeks?
I don't know if it was 4, but it was multiple.
I think he missed like 4 weeks.
He was MIA
the start
for
of the
a minute
show.
there. Yeah.
I mean, he was here for the season opener, before the opener when he predicted 4-8, and then
wasn't here for Southern.
Then wasn't here for.
I don't think he was here again until Auburn, so he might have been. That's 3 weeks.
And one of the ones when he missed is when we did the freak jury, like should we save Russ or not? And it was 50-50. Do we keep the Russ segment? Do we punt it? And it was 50-50, and so we made the decision to keep it. And I'm really glad we did that.
Yes.
Because even after Florida, he predicted an Ole Miss loss.
Oh, he doubled down.
Yeah, he doubled down. He was like, feeling pretty good still, like saying they were only going to get to 5. I'm like, hey, now. He did then after the Ole Miss win, tweeted 9 is the new 4.
Yes.
And now I guess 10 is the new 4.
Yeah.
See if the Tigers can pull it home with these final 3. So Russ will be here in hour number 3. All right, glad to have you aboard with us here. Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online, southpointvw.com. 9 different IIHS top safety picks. They got a great inventory in stock. Y'all, I want to remind you as well. I say all the time, the great German engineering, without the cost, the style, the feel, the performance of luxury. But remember, they're manufactured right here in the USA at their Tennessee plant, right there in Chattanooga. A giant Volkswagen manufacturing plant in Chattanooga. So you get the great engineering and you're supporting American jobs. South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction? All right. The Saints did not practice on Wednesday. Keep in mind, the week, because they played on Monday Night Football, is a little bit different. So they played on Monday Night Football. Typically, Monday is sort of the come in, rest, recover day. Tuesday is the off day in the NFL. Then you start practicing it on Wednesday, which is why I have an injury report. Well, in effect, because they played on Monday, you get treatment Tuesday, then Wednesday's your off day. Then Thursday, they'll start preparing. They'll prepare Thursday, Friday. I would assume walk through Saturday, travel to Pittsburgh, and then play on Sunday. So the injury report today, Wednesday, is really just an estimation of practice statuses because they didn't actually practice. All right, let's run through it. The injury report is shrinking a little, but it's still notable. So you don't have as many players on the injury report, but literally every player on the injury report is a starter. Here's the guys that would not have practiced on Wednesday had the Saints had practice. Mark Ingram, which I think we knew. Marshawn Lattimore, still out with the abdominal injury. Eric McCoy, that's significant. We'll come back to it. Andres Pete, and, of course, Pete Werner, who was carted off the field on Monday Night Football. Those that would have been limited are Marcus Davenport with a calf injury. It's always something. Jarvis Landry with an ankle. And Ryan Ramczyk, who all throughout the year they've been giving him these rest days. He's been limited middle of the week and then practices fully later. But with a guy of that status and stature, it's quite all right giving him rest days to make sure it's really just about making sure he's ready to go on Sunday. As for the Steelers, if you look through their injury report on Wednesday, their kicker, Chris Boswell, has a groin injury, which is certainly worth noting. He, along with William Jackson, Kelly Witherspoon, Miles Jack, and Larry Ogunjobi did not practice. Full participants who were battling injury, Levi Wallace and Christian Kuntz, their long snapper. So, with the Saints, there's a couple of things on this injury report that are most notable. Eric McCoy is just massively significant. And in part, that's been drilled into my brain, and I'm sure for many of you as well over the years, for the many years that Mike Detillier was here, and he shared that stat with us about every time a team loses its starting center, they fail to cover that week, the week they lose their center, 85% of the time. So we saw the domino effect McCoy's injury had on the Saints on Monday. When Ruiz moved over to center, Throckmorton went in at guard. that's, it's hard to minimize the importance of the offensive line in a week like this, especially, if you look at that defensive front from Pittsburgh and the fact that we saw the news this week that it looks like T.J. Watt's going to be available for the Pittsburgh Steelers. That news came yesterday that it looks like Watt is going to be available for Pittsburgh. So one of the best defensive players in the NFL returns in a week where the Saints are going to have very likely an offensive line shuffle. I don't like that at all. The other part of it as well is defensively, it looks like you're going to be down some key guys. Dennis Allen did give an update on Marshawn Lattimore, who continues to battle that abdomen injury.
I think he's closer. We'll monitor him throughout the week. He's picked up the intensity of his workouts, in terms of the rehab process. And so, I'm hopeful that we'll get him back sooner than later. It's a tough injury to come back from, and he's working hard to get back.
He hasn't played since the Seattle game. So he played in the first 4 games of the season and hasn't played since being injured in that game in London. So that's been pretty critical as you've really had to shuffle that secondary. Thankfully, Alontae Taylor has come back healthy and was one of the highest grade defenders on Pro Football Focus after this past week. So he's played well. You got Paulson Adebo available, but man, you've had to activate Chris Harris. This week, PJ Williams was activated as well. You're really figuring it out back there with Roby and with Lattimore having been out for this length of time. If there is a bit of good news, you're playing Pittsburgh with a rookie quarterback and Kenny Pickett. And remember, Pittsburgh just traded Chase Claypool before the trade deadline, so they really removed their best offensive weapon from their offense as well. So maybe a little bit of a breather for that secondary, not facing the challenge they have in recent weeks, namely with Lamar Jackson, even without guys like Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews this past week. Also, the other significant injury there is Pete Werner, who was carted off the field on Monday Night Football. Here was Dennis Allen when he was asked about sort of a timeline for Pete Werner.
Look, I'm not into giving a bunch of time frames and all those kinds of things. I understand where your questions are coming from, and I understand everybody's got a job to do, but we really don't talk a lot about time frames on injuries. Guys get injured, they rehab the best they can, try to get them back out as soon as we can.
Caden Ellis replaced Pete Werner, and Caden Ellis did perform pretty well. He had a handful of tackles. He did have a sack in the ball game. I'm pulling up the box score. I want to make sure that I have that correctly. But Caden Ellis played well. He also kind of got juked by Lamar Jackson, but then again, who didn't get juked by Lamar Jackson? Ellis in the game had 5 tackles, 4 solo, 1 sack, and a quarterback hit. So he played well in spots, Caden Ellis did, but I don't know that there's a replacement for Pete Werner, who had been your most active, most effective player so far this season on the defensive side of the ball. And one more from Dennis Allen about Jarvis Landry, who just continues to be hobbled.
We've had conversations with Jarvis. We'll see where he's at again. Kind of like Marshawn, we'll monitor it throughout the week. Look, last week he was able to get out on the field and get some limited practice in, and so hopefully that'll increase this week.
Again, Jarvis is another guy who's only played in 4 games this year. So you're a team that is just past the halfway point. You're 3-6 through 9 weeks. You got 8 games to play, and you're down some pretty significant players. But like we've talked about before, this is a team that their opportunity to finish the season above 500 is just not realistic. You're going to have weeks where you play well and you win, like you did against Las Vegas. And then you're going to have clunkers against good teams like you did against Baltimore. And you're going to have some heartbreaking losses as well, like the ones against Cincinnati or Arizona. And you'll probably find a way to steal a game like you did against Atlanta in week 1. There's probably 3 or 4 more wins on that schedule for the Saints. I mean, a 6-11, 7-10. Someone asked me, do you think the Saints win another game? Of course they'll win another game. It's the NFL. It's any given Sunday, and there's still enough talent on that field that in spots where they put it together, they're going to play well. And the unfortunate thing about this week is this is one of those weeks where you would assume they could put it together and play well and have a chance to beat a team like Pittsburgh with a rookie quarterback. But you're going on the road on a short week, and you're down so many key players. You're going to have a shuffle on the offensive line, most likely, and that just doesn't bode well for New Orleans in this spot going to Pittsburgh on Sunday for a noon kickoff. We'll continue to follow to see who they may have available, but at this point, it's just hard to be optimistic about anything going on in New Orleans right now. Maybe they can surprise us at some point. Just don't think it's realistic. All right, it's After Further Review. I'm brought to you by Pluckers. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll go around the SEC. Bourbon Dictionary. Taylor's going to be in studio with us here in about 15 minutes, and we'll get you an update on Arkansas quarterback KJ Jefferson at the top of hour number 2, so 30 minutes from right now. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. You know where to find it. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You'll see them all over town. And when a River City's 1 Hour Air technician comes to your house, you'll probably have an experience like Angela Davis did. She wrote in this 5-star review, very professional in all matters, explained things so I could understand what I was dealing with, on the spot with parts that was needed to do my repairs, also showed me the benefit of being a club member, which became clear that it was well worth the cost. All in all, Darren, the technician, was a lifesaver for us today and did work in a timely manner, getting us back into our air-conditioned home. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. If it's your AC or your heater, River City's 1 Hour Air can help. Nights, holidays, weekends, they always work, and they never charge you extra to come out. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
During the season of Thanksgiving, Corval Toyota wants to take the time to thank you for your business. We could not be in business for over 50 years without you.
Thank you. Thank you. Gracias. Thank you.
Thank you from Corval Toyota in Opelousas.
Thank you.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
LSU basketball tips off tonight, the Matt McMahon era. Matt McMahon did meet with reporters. He was asked, key play number 2, Muse, he was asked if they've settled on a starting 5 yet.
The good news for us, we still have one more practice, plus tomorrow's shoot around to make some final evaluations going into the game. It's not the same as having a competitive advantage of who the starting quarterback is, but we'll make those final conclusions tomorrow and be ready to roll.
So short way to answer the question, no, they have not made a ready to name a starting 5 yet, but we'll find out soon enough. 7 o'clock p.m. Central, LSU against Kansas City for men's basketball, the debut of the Matt McMahon era. We'll preview the game a little bit more. The Lady Tigers, of course, tipped off their season year 2 under Kim Mulkey with a 75-point win over Bellarmine on Monday. They'll be back on the floor on Friday against Mississippi Valley State, and some really significant news today as the fall signing period opened today, and the LSU women's basketball team signed the #1 class in the country as ranked by ESPN. Headlining the class is the #1 player in the country, Michaela Williams out of Bossier City. She's a 6-foot guard out of Parkway, Louisiana Gatorade Player of the Year, averaging 22 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, 2 steals a game. So you get the best player in the country who happens to be in your state. That's a huge plus. And on top of that, added teammates out of the Webb School in Tennessee, Leah Del Rosario, who committed about a week ago or so, and then Angelica Velez, who is a 4-star guard. So incredible, man. Kim Mulkey, she's already paying dividends. I mean, an amazing debut season a year ago, and now already off to a great start here. Added a monster transfer class, and then, of course, now the #1 class in the country that they've inked for this current signing class. I mean, Kim Mulkey's going to win a national championship, y'all. I mean, she's done it before. She's going to do it here. Really exciting times ahead. So congrats to Coach Mulkey and the staff on inking the #1 class in the country. All right, it is After Further Review. Taylor Calandro in studio, a little less than 10 minutes from right now for Bourbon Dictionary. You know how to get your questions in. Any booze questions, fire away. It's going to be tricky for me, y'all. I'm doing a no alcohol November. I decided, like, I've gained weight. Football season, this always happens to me. I gain weight during the fall, I lose it during the spring, so I look good during the summer, and then I just repeat the process. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stop that from happening, and I'm not going to spend another month plus just gaining weight throughout November and December. I'm going to actually do something about it early. So Taylor's actually coming in studio with a bottle of whiskey, which I may just like touch to my lips just to give you a little bit of a review of it. But it's going to be challenging, man, with whiskey and wine and with Oliver Twist tonight with Moscona and tea. But I would appreciate I would appreciate the moral support if anybody could give it, because Lord knows I'll probably need it. All right, it's After Further Review. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Missouri Tigers.
Missouri football coach Eli Drinkwitz, of course, got a contract extension, was announced over the weekend. We now know the terms. His salary increases from $4 million a year to $6 million per year. It'll peak at $7 million in the final season of the deal. Drinkwitz is 39 years old. He's now signed through 2027. He's 15-17 during his 2+ seasons at Mizzou. His 2023 salary will slot him 8th among SEC head coaches. If Missouri fires Drinkwitz, they would owe him $6 million initially, plus 75% of his remaining contract.
The Vanderbilt Commodores.
Quarterback A.J. Swan is out for Saturday's matchup against Kentucky. Veteran Mike Wright is expected to start. Ken Seals will be the backup. Clark Lee confirmed Swan would not be available, but did not rule him out for the season. Swan suffered an injury just before halftime in the loss to South Carolina this past Saturday. He had previously been injured in the loss to Missouri, but returned after the open date. Clark Lee also offered that offensive lineman Bradley Ashmore out for the season. He has a fracture.
Fighting Texas Aggie.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even mean to do it. Do it again.
Fighting Texas Aggie.
No, that's not what I wanted. No.
Brother, I have watched more Yale practice than I care to admit. I have not one time.
I can't. You're failing. That's a failure.
It is not.
That's a failure.
We can sit down together, Matt.
I'll find it in the break. I promise you,
Then you have it saved somewhere. I watched 6 different Yale practice videos, and I'm ashamed of myself for it. There's this fictional guy, Old Rock the Good Ag, who's been a
Old
pilot,
Old Rock
a
the Good
surgeon,
Ag.
a reverend. The man has more jobs than anybody. It is the most nauseating
Look
thing.
at him.
Matt, it is the most nauseating thing I've ever experienced in my life.
I got an idea.
Terrible.
I got an idea. You should get high and watch it
No,
next time.
I never want to watch
Text
another
it
one of those
in.
things again. So if you find it,
I'll find
let
it in
me
2
know.
seconds. I'll find it in 2 seconds. All right, a week after wait, play it again.
Fighting Texas Aggie.
A week after a flu outbreak within his program, Texas A&M was left, of course, without 12 starters in their loss to Florida. I probably wouldn't have won anyway. Jimbo Fisher was asked for an update. He said it's not as bad as last week. There's still some lingering effects, but it hasn't had the impact that it did a week ago. Meanwhile, they're playing Auburn, who's also been hit by the flu this weekend, so keep an eye on that.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Despite the struggles that sixth-year senior place kicker Matt Ruffolo has had this season, plan is still for him to remain the starter there in Lexington. Mark Stoops confirming that. Ruffolo took over as Kentucky's kicker midway through 2019. He's held that job ever since, but this year, he is 9 of 15 on field goals, just 2 of 6 beyond 40. He had PATs blocked against Florida, 2 blocked against Ole Miss. That doesn't even count for the 2 misses that he's had. It's been an adventure, but they're sticking with it.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Vyson Lang, a 3-star offensive lineman out of the state of Alabama, has committed to Tennessee football. 6'5", 335, the number 30 recruit in the state of Alabama for the class of 2023. He's the number 56 offensive tackle in the nation. He becomes the 22nd commit for the Vols class of 2023. Lang chose Tennessee over Auburn, LSU, and Texas. He had nearly 30 offers. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales service after the sale, the official office equipment provider of LSU Tigers, New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, and ULL Ragin' Cajuns. It's Gulf Coast Office Products. Same-day service at worst, at the latest, 10 a.m. the next day with offices in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, the North Shore, and Lafayette. Gulf Coast Office Products. Eli Drinkwitz's story was pretty interesting. We always look at the buyout. Of course, if Mizzou fires him, they'd owe him $6 million plus 75% of what's remaining. The other thing that stands out, though, and I'll just use this as evidence of something we've talked about for several years here now. When Jimbo Fisher first signed that 10-year, $75 million contract, there was so much melt all over college football. How in the world, 10 years, 75? It was unthinkable that a coach could sign a 10-year, $75 million contract. Now you have $100 million contracts over a decade. Coaches making in excess of $10 million a year. But when Jimbo signed that deal, I said, what's the big deal? Because in 10 years from now, A&M can afford it first. In 10 years from now, $7.5 million per year is going to put him 30th in the country maybe by 2027, which would be 10 years after Jimbo signed that contract. Eli Drinkwitz from Missouri will be making $7 million per year. So, got the money, spend it. I tell you all the time. Ain't my money. Ain't your money either. All right. It's after further review. Taylor Calandro is going to jump in studio next for a little Bourbon Dictionary. Get your booze questions in. Email us, tweet us, text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary next.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money. Stop overpaying to be underinsured. Y'all, inflation's gone crazy. You'll see it. I mean, gas prices are back up over 3. I filled up yesterday. Back up over 3. I think 3.11. I paid for gas yesterday. Unbelievable. Prices on everything are more expensive. So how do you save money? Start with your insurance premiums. I mean, that's something you pay every month. What if you could spend less money on insurance every single month? I give you examples every single day here of AFR listeners, real people, residents of the state of Louisiana who have called Insurance Network of Louisiana, had them shop for free, found them better coverage, and saved them money. And sometimes, in some instances, I've shared stories of people who have saved $5,000, $10,000 a year on their coverage, which is bonkers. I saved $1,600 on my coverage and quadrupled my coverage. Get a little relief. Call Insurance Network of Louisiana. Let them see if they can find you better coverage for less money. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net. lainsurance.net.
When I was a boy, I spent my days climbing trees, catching fish. Barefoot in the river I walked, listening to crickets, counting stars. This was home. After my stroke, I wondered if I'd make it back to the people and places I love. But I got the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Your card matters. Your home does too.
I'm Chris Nakamoto. Here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. Governor John Bel Edwards is lifting his silence today, days after DCFS admitted it failed to do the right things again after a child overdosed on fentanyl. Despite the leader of DCFS saying she's in lockstep with the governor as it pertains to her agency, the governor carefully choosing his words, but not saying that. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a life.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, wrapping up hour number 1. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We'll get you an update on KJ Jefferson's status in just a moment. We welcome Taylor Calandro in studio because he brought goodies. How are you, dude?
Good, Matt. How are you?
I am really good. It's good to see you. And
it's
you
great
brought
to see you as well.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you.
Thank you. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Very polite and gentlemanly and whatnot.
Cheers.
Cheers. So we're going to get to your questions. If you're new, Taylor from Calandro's comes in, answers your booze questions. So fire away. Email us, tweet us, text us, 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Every now and again, though, when they got something really good that comes in, Taylor jumps in studio. We kind of do a little live sample on air. So what you got, man?
So today we got 2 barrels today, actually, which is kind of crazy. I mean, that's a lot of liquid one day. We got a Yellowstone pick. It's the 93 proof select. It's a 4-year. They are $50. The show starts Sunday, and as far as I know, this is the only or one of 2 barrels in the state of Louisiana for Yellowstone.
Explain Yellowstone.
So Yellowstone is an old distillery that got brought back. It's like a 100-year-old distillery. They got brought back 7-8 years ago. They're owned by Luxco now. Luxco, if you're familiar with, we were just talking about Blood Oath. I'm trying to think. David Nichols. That there's a bunch of different brands that they're bringing up now, but Yellowstone's part of that portfolio now. It's a 4-year. It's young. It's their own liquid. It is very, very easy at 93 proof, in my opinion.
Very pleasant nose.
Yeah.
So I told you that I'm doing a no alcohol November. It's really challenging.
It is very challenging. That would be nearly impossible for me.
Well, I mean, consider the fact that tonight I'm going to go do a show
at a bar
with T-Bob, where part of the show is they have break-even picks, break-even pours every single week, and we sit there and we have a pour on the show. I'm going to have to say, no, I'm good, thanks.
Which, by the way, is Crown Royal 29 tonight.
29-year Crown Royal.
Yeah. I haven't tried it yet.
I mean, I may end up just doing what I'm going to do with this, and it's just like not even take a full pour, just like a half an ounce.
So did you not drink after the Bama game?
Didn't. All day. Didn't.
What?
I know.
That's impossible.
I mean,
during the game?
No. Well, I never drink on game day. I really don't, because it's work, and considering what T-Bob does on game day and post game, like someone has to keep some sort of semblance of the show, so it works. Like
T-Bob, he definitely takes up for both of y'all.
Yep, he does. That's cool. It's cool, man. it's the dynamic of the show, which works.
Like to party, man.
Show works, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yin and yang.
it's totally cool. So anyway, no, I don't drink on game days, and normally when we start whiskey and wine, they'll bring me one pour neat of Sazerac rye, and I sip on that and smoke my cigar. So I just bypass that and smoke the cigar, which I enjoyed wonderfully anyway. All right, I will. I'll give this a little go here on the Yellowstone. And what else do you have?
So it's pretty easy on the palate. I would almost call it smooth. The next one is...
Well, that's got some oak on it.
Yeah.
Does that have any...
It's young. Does it have any what? I'm sorry.
I was going to say smoke as well.
No.
Almost smoke. It's got almost a smoky characteristic.
You're talking about the flavor profile. I thought you were about in the actual process. No. Yeah, no. I mean, there's a little smoke to it. It's young. It does pick up a good bit of barrel characteristic for how young it is.
Yeah, it does.
And the other one is the Whistle Pig.
How much is the Yellowstone?
$50,
$49.99. Yeah, that's a good price. Okay.
Yeah, so it's affordable, and Yellowstone's gotten really popular in the last couple of years. And like I said, a show or something affiliated with the show is starting Sunday. I don't watch it, but somebody told me that. The second one is a Whistle Pig bespoke Old World pick, and this is not a normal one. This is finished in Fino sherry cask. There was a very limited amount of barrels done in the country in this cask. This is outstanding. I told Matt before, I didn't pick this. My dad picked this. I just tried it before the show. It tastes like almond whiskey to me.
Almond whiskey?
Yeah. It's got tons of almond. It's got rye, but it's got a lot of almond from that Fino sherry. It is outstanding. It's probably my favorite Whistle Pig pick that we have done, and we've done some good Whistle Pig picks. This is really good, in my opinion.
A lot of flavor for 86 proof.
Yeah, and it's 86 proof too.
This is something what I would say, and I love Whistle Pig. I've never shied away from that. I think everything they do is fantastic. They've gotten very proud of their liquid over the years.
Absolutely.
But most people who are maybe starting out who try to avoid heat and real big, bold whiskeys, that would be perfect for that. At 86 proof, it's got a ton of flavor at 86 proof.
And heat and spice are different. This does have some spice, but it's got a lot of caramel, and that's one thing I love about Whistle Pig. They do rye right, and it's not your traditional super spicy rye.
It's why I love rye.
Yeah.
I think most people in Louisiana we're so accustomed to spicy foods. I think people hear rye and I'm not a rye person. Like, you probably are. Like, you like the peppery flavors of the spice that you get with a rye that's not heat. Like, I don't like hot wings. I don't want something to burn my mouth. That's the difference between a peppery, spicy.
And I'm the same way too. I mean, there's a difference between a pleasant amount of spice and unbearably spicy.
Heat just burning your mouth.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time on these. Let's see if we can get to some questions. You know how to get them. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona. You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, or you can always text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Here's one from Greg that asks, Taylor, what's the max amount you'll pay for a cocktail?
Well, I mean, I won't say it's a cocktail, but if it's a pour that I really, really, really want, I mean, I would probably go up to $300-400 for it.
Yeah, there is a difference between a cocktail and a pour. If you're talking about a neat,
Yeah.
I don't know that.
For a cocktail, I mean, man, you can get cocktails with crazy liquor in it. So, but like a standard cocktail, $20-30 if it's done really, really, really well.
Yeah. What else? God, we're like literally at 30 seconds. So these are available. What else is going on? Anything? Do we have update on the raffle? Yeah,
the
30
raffle,
seconds raffle
will be December 8th. I talked to Gordy earlier or the other day. We were going to try to do it in person this year, but we're not. We're going to do it virtually. We're going to do it here again. So that changed, and I haven't told Gordy yet either. So that's probably going to be breaking
So we
news.
are virtual.
We are going to be virtual.
December the 8th.
Yes, December the 8th. We're going to be virtual.
Okay.
And I have not told Gordy. So Gordy, if you're listening, sorry.
More info in the weeks ahead. Thank you. Hour 2 next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service. ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper to bumper auto service. Name brand tires at wholesale prices. That's Shawbills. Listen, you got a car, you got 4 tires, truck, van, whatever it is. And every now and again, you'll have to replace those tires. So if you're going to buy tires where you can get the best tires at the cheapest price. That's Shawbills, because Shawbills works so hard to get you the best price possible. Go to ShawbillsTire.com. That's ShawbillsTire.com. Hit the promotions tab. You'll see all the promotions available right now at Shawbills. And so often what they'll do is they'll work with the manufacturer's offer, which will already give you a great discount, and then they'll give you their own in-house offer on top of it. Like if you use your Shawbills credit card, you get more of a discount, or you can get discounts on installation and lots of different ways that they'll save you money. It's ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service, name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they treat you like family. Shawbills, we keep you rolling.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 60 months on new 2022 Ford F-150s. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana Barbecue Sauce, Louisiana Molasses Mustard, Spicy and Sweet Barbecue Rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. After deciding not to hire suspended Celtics coach Ime Udoka, the Nets take the interim designation away from Jacques Vaughn. He's now the head coach. ESPN's Monica McNutt.
Even though there's connections to Ime Udoka and some of the guys that are currently on this roster, I mean, you have questions about the staff behind just the head coach. And so I think Jacques now has the opportunity to stabilize this organization a bit moving forward. And they've played pretty well in 2 games that he's been at the helm.
Monica McNutt. The Nets host the Knicks tonight, 7:30 Eastern, to tip off our NBA doubleheader on ESPN. That game will be followed by the Lakers and the Clippers. Guardians third baseman Jose Ramirez will need up to 2 months to recover from his thumb surgery today. The team expects him to be ready for spring training. Tiger Woods announces today on Twitter that he will play in the Hero World Challenge in the Bahamas on the first weekend of December. The tournament benefits Woods' foundation. It'll be his first time on tour since missing the cut at the Open at St. Andrews in July.
Temperature's getting low, but demand remains high? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates, all from one place. And Indeed's interview tool lets you schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from their website. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Let's ride!
Hour 2. Off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt!
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Russ Mitchell next hour. We'll get to overrated, underrated later this hour as well. If you missed it, LSU 7th in the college football playoff rankings. Saints did not practice today because of the short week, but they did release an injury report. It's all the familiar names. Jarvis Landry, Marcus Davenport's on the injury report. Marshawn Lattimore, Pete Werner with the ankle injury, who seems to be indefinite right now, but we'll revisit that coming up a bit more. Brian Kelly and Sam Pittman were both on the SEC Coaches Teleconference on Wednesday, and I think there are 2 gigantic stories surrounding this game. One is the intangible, which we've talked about a lot, the letdown effect for LSU. That's one. 2 is the very real, very tangible, very significant question of KJ Jefferson's health. If you've not watched Arkansas at all this season, KJ Jefferson is their starting quarterback, and he's a very good player. He has thrown for a hair under 2,000 yards. He's actually right on par with Jaden Daniels. Jaden's thrown for 1,994 yards. KJ Jefferson, 1,981 yards. Jefferson, 17 touchdowns, 3 picks. Daniels, 14 touchdowns, the 1 pick. The caveat, the asterisk is KJ Jefferson missed the Mississippi State game. So that's in 1 fewer game. And Jefferson also is a really dynamic runner, and that's pretty much the core of what he does in this offense. He is a big physical dude at about 245, 250 pounds, and his ability to run the football is kind of his big differentiator. He's listed at 6'3", 242, and he is, at this point in the season, he's rushed for 425 yards, an average of 3.6 a carry. Keep in mind, though, you do have sack-adjusted yardage, but 16 rushing touchdowns in his career, 6 on the season. that is their offense, is KJ Jefferson lining up kind of in a single wing and running the football with their big running back sort of offset and how they all handle it. The problem that Arkansas has run into here of late is that KJ Jefferson's been injured. Jefferson missed the Mississippi State game, and it was injured against Alabama and missed the following week against Mississippi State. The game he missed against Mississippi State, Arkansas lost 40-17. They were woefully inept offensively. Malik Hornsby throwing was 8 of 17. 8 of 17. Now, he threw for 234 because Mississippi State's Mississippi State, but 8 of 17. A touchdown and 2 picks. Hornsby carried it 8 times for 114. You can tell what Arkansas is offensively. They are an offense that centers around their quarterback's ability to run the football, but they are single-dimensional when it comes to that. And so they lost 40-17 to Mississippi State when Jefferson did not play. Jefferson has a shoulder injury as well. And all this week against before the Liberty game, Jefferson was very limited. And the reports out of Arkansas this past week where he wasn't even throwing at practice leading up to the Liberty game, and boy, did it show. Arkansas lost that game 21-19. They got down 21-0 before they kicked a field goal late in the first half. It was like literally as time expired before the end of the first half, they got on the board. So they were down 21-3 at half. They got a safety. So it was 21-5 Liberty going into the fourth quarter. And Arkansas scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They had a 2-point conversion attempt to tie the game with a minute and 11 seconds left to go, and they came up short. It was an incomplete pass into the end zone. So Liberty ends up beating them 21-19, but it's just evident that offensively they are not right when KJ Jefferson isn't right, and he does not appear right. So what's he doing right now? Sam Pittman on the SEC Coaches Teleconference on Wednesday gave an update on KJ Jefferson.
That's still, a few days away. KJ threw some on Monday, not much at all yesterday. I don't know exactly, Tom, what he'll do today, but that's still kind of a fluid situation. But there hasn't been a whole lot of change from last week to this week, except for KJ's throwing a little bit more than what he did last week.
So he's throwing a little bit more, but not much change. You're talking about a dude who's a physical quarterback who runs a lot, who already doesn't have great receiving options. Remember, Traylon Burks was their big receiver a year ago, was a first-round draft pick. He's gone. And now you're talking about a quarterback with an injured shoulder trying to go against this LSU defense. What if KJ can't go against LSU?
Malik Hornsby's had a really good week of practice. The team's confident in him. And so either way, whatever happens, whether we play KJ or whether we play Malik, we'll feel like we'll have a guy that can go back there the team believes in and execute our game plan.
There's truth in what Sam Pittman said. And the truth is the game plan for Arkansas doesn't necessarily change. KJ Jefferson, Malik Hornsby, both are athletic dudes that are thinking run. I mean, you can run off of your quarterback's athleticism. That's what they are. And they've got some really good running backs. Raheem Sanders is already over 1,100 rushing yards on the season. So when you've got a 1,000-yard rusher still with 3 games to play and KJ Jefferson, that action has been very potent for Arkansas running the football. The problem is when you look at their receivers, they just don't have the really dominant threat. Jaden Hazelwood is a transfer from Oklahoma. He's got 44 catches for 553. Matt Landers is their number 2 with 35 catches. He actually leads in receiving yards at 594. Both those guys have 3 touchdowns. After that, it's Trey Knox, their tight end. It's Raheem Sanders, the running back. They're just very limited in the pitch and catch game at Arkansas, and their pitch and catch comes off of the running game. So if the quarterback isn't able to run and make a defense respect that, then you really can't set up any of the passing offense as well. So that's what we're watching throughout the week is KJ Jefferson's status. And if you're LSU, man, you really like your matchup here because this isn't complicated. This is a see-ball, hit-ball type offense. And listen, Kendall Browse is a very good offensive coordinator. We've talked about him a ton. But this offense, without a real legitimate threat, as a receiver. I mean, they were so different a year ago when they had Traylon Burks. I mean, he was just he tilted the field because you had this big physical pass catcher who made you respect his ability to win any type of one-on-one matchup. He was an 1,100-yard receiver a year ago with double-digit touchdowns. Well, he's in the NFL now, and they don't really have that next out. It's supposed to be Hazelwood, who's had a nice season, but he was injured at the start of the season as well, and just hasn't worked where he's been this super dominant threat like LSU has seen from other places. So this isn't like you're facing Tennessee with that three-headed monster at receiver. It's a very different challenge. Now, we said there's two things. One is obviously the physical storyline of KJ Jefferson's health. The other is the intangible of LSU and the letdown. It's a little incredible, but Brian Kelly has won 17 consecutive November games. It dates back, obviously, to his time at Notre Dame, and then the game Saturday against Alabama. The last time Brian Kelly lost in November was 2017. For context, that was Ed Orgeron's first season, and LSU played that Notre Dame team in the Citrus Bowl in Ed's first year. And Notre Dame that season lost twice in November. They lost early in November at Miami. They kind of got taken to the woodshed down in Miami. And then in the regular season finale, they lost to Stanford in a close game. That's the last time Brian Kelly lost a November football game. So you're talking about a streak that's extended 5 years. I mean, 17 games since he's lost in the month of November. And then part of that is just the attention to detail and preparing a team to be healthy and playing its best by the end of the year. And we've seen that, haven't we? I mean, LSU has continued to improve as this season's gone along, and they have paced themselves to be ready for this time of year. Now, Brian Kelly was asked again, like he was on Monday, about sort of like avoiding the letdown and handling success. And this is what he talked about when he was asked about being just in a different position now, where you're no longer the underdog. You're the team that's been winning and is expected to win. So how do you handle this success?
With the success that we've had, we've entered into a new part of how we think, and our team needs to now handle success, and that means preparing the right way, avoiding distractions, and really working on what they've been good at, and that is day-to-day. Certainly preparation, their practice, being better at all the details, and so we hope to continue that as we get ready for another great offense in Arkansas.
And one more from Brian Kelly. When he was asked about winning 17 straight games in November, he said great players and kind of talked about the really preparation, but he did elaborate a bit more on sort of that secret sauce.
Use a little bit of the science to help you look at player loads and making sure your team's getting stronger with your weight training program during the year. Nutrition, fatigue, all those things play a part, and I think a little bit of the science helps you with that as well, and making sure your kids are mentally and physically not overloaded and fatigued.
One of the things that's just abundantly clear with Brian Kelly and just becoming so obvious to all of us, and we've said it often, but it's his attention to detail. And so when he talks about load management and avoiding fatigue and all of that, it does matter. And when you look at Notre Dame, it's not like these November schedules have been padded with layups. Now, they didn't play a ranked team in November last year. They played Navy, Virginia, Georgia Tech, and then at Stanford. But they were all blowout wins, 34-6, 28-3, 55-0. 45-14. You go back to the COVID year, which obviously was just a different year for everybody. Even in that season, they had arguably Brian Kelly's biggest win of his coaching career. They beat number 1 Clemson. That was on November the 7th. They beat number 1 Clemson on November the 7th in double overtime. And the next week they had to go on the road to Chestnut Hill to play Boston College. By the way, that was in front of 0 fans. There was a game. The state of Massachusetts, they were not allowing fans to attend, so that was in front of 0 fans. A completely sterile environment, and they hung 45 on BC and won by 2 touchdowns. They also beat 19th-ranked North Carolina on the road. They blew out Syracuse at home. I mean, it's not like this is a one-off type talking point. In 2019, their November games were Virginia Tech, at Duke, against number 23 Navy, who they beat 52-20. They beat Boston College 40-7, and they won at Stanford 45-24. So you can see the point. It's not just like it's a one-off or they're loading up against weak opponents. In 2018, they beat 12th-ranked Syracuse 36-3. They won at Southern Cal 24-17. So it's impressive. I mean, there's no other way to state it. We've talked a lot about Brian Kelly and his record when he's a favorite as opposed to when he's an underdog, and as a favorite, he's been really good. Well, they're a favorite again this week. And you have a guy that's been really good at getting teams ready to play late in the season, been really good in November, been really good as a favorite, been really good at compartmentalizing week to week. And I know LSU fans for so many years have and listen, we talked about this. I know we've talked about this when LSU would play that Alabama game and invariably have that letdown the week later. Well, the big part of that was in the Les Miles era. And I'm not picking on Les. Trust me, I've talked about this both ways. There are different ways to approach a game. Do you either build it up and acknowledge, yes, it's a big game, or do you downplay it? Saban's thing has always been, well, every game's a big game because it's the next game. Les built up the Alabama game. And so often when LSU would build that game up and then they'd lose it, and for all intents and purposes, now that they don't have a tiebreaker against Alabama, they're eliminated from the West race. Now they got to go play Arkansas. And Arkansas thinks it's the Super Bowl, and LSU really doesn't care, and they're deflated. Well, that was how that handled. But I've also pointed out, Ed Ogeron never lost to Arkansas until his final year when he was a lame duck and he made the stupid decision to bench Max Johnson and play freshman Garrett Nussmeier, and they scored 13 points. But from 2016, when he took over as an interim, through 2020, Ed never lost to Arkansas. So, and it didn't matter whether they only beat Bama once in 2019. It didn't matter. He was able to get the team ready to go week to week. That was one thing Ed did very well, actually. And I think Brian Kelly's kind of the same way. You couple KJ Jefferson's injury, stylistically what Arkansas does offensively, they're not built to beat LSU's defense where LSU might be vulnerable. The circumstance of the game, I really don't worry about. I mean, I get the letdown. I get it's a stinky line and all that stuff, but there's so much concrete evidence which suggests LSU's going to be fine in this game. I really think they're going to go up and win this game. They're the better team, and I think they're going to win it. So we'll keep following that progress with KJ Jefferson throughout the weekend. If you see funny line movement on this game as the week moves along, you know that's directly related to KJ Jefferson and his health. All right, it's after further review. We're glad to have you aboard with us. We'll knock out a quick break. Overrated, underrated at the bottom of the hour. Tigers and the pros still to come. Glad you're here. Saints have signed a running back. We'll tell you about it next on AFR.
AFR. It's a raving fan shout-out. Presented by Darren James & Associates, brokered by eXp Realty.
November is the #1 home selling month in Baton Rouge, year in and year out. That may surprise you. Most people think it would happen during the summer. Not exactly. Think about it. New home for the new year. You want to be in your new home for the holidays? This is when you list your home in November, so you can move on with your life and get into that new home for the holidays, and also you avoid the spring rush of the market being flooded. So it's a great time to call Darren James and get your home sold. I love sharing great reviews. This one says, Darren James is totally professional and attentive to the needs and wishes of his clients. His marketing strategies are exceptional. His experience in our local market allows him to provide his clients valuable guidance. The sale of our home illustrates total success of his approach. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Enter now for a chance to win a catch and cook fishing experience from the Louisiana Charter Boat Association with me, Chef Jay Ducote, winner of Beat Bobby Flay. Register now at gocatch.com. That's GEAUX catch.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just...
Old friends like how you get that lit. Same old me, but they think I switch. Go friends, I don't know that. Racks too big, can't ain't getting on when I hold that. Mama, I told you we gon' be okay.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
It's very important that we stay consistent in our preparation and our process. I don't believe that we should decide now to get sidetracked and think about everything else except Arkansas.
It's LSU running back Josh Williams. Congrats to Josh Williams, by the way, who on Tuesday it was announced he's a semifinalist for the Burlsworth Award. The Burlsworth Award is named after former Arkansas offensive lineman Brandon Burlsworth. You might remember he was the big offensive lineman who you could see the big black Coke bottle glasses that he wore through his helmet, who tragically died at a young age. But they've named this trophy in his honor. It's players that were that started their careers as walk-ons. So it goes to the best player who started his career as a walk-on. And Josh Williams is completely deserving of winning this award, but he's probably not going to win it, unfortunately, because Stetson Bennett is also on the list. So he's one of 10 semifinalists, and but for Stetson Bennett, Josh Williams would likely be a lock. I mean, he's become LSU's best running back, their most consistent player. Not only running the football, but in so many other ways. It's so funny to me. People, whenever we talk about Josh Williams, people say, man, why'd you talk about the block? Like, we've literally talked about that every time we talk about Josh Williams. I mean, it's why he's on the field so much. Not only if you need a yard, he'll get you two, but he's a very willing and capable blocker. He sprung Jaden Daniels on the 25-yard touchdown run in overtime. Josh Williams, actually, when he met with reporters on Tuesday, did talk about his mentality, why he's such a willing blocker.
I know that blocking isn't the most popular play out there on ESPN or anything, but I take pride into it because in my career, blocking was the first way I could get onto the field, showing that I could block and showing that I could do the small detailed things. That was the only way that I could get on the field. So I really take that to heart, and I really show that I have effort and I want to be a different type of player.
He should be a finalist for the Burlsworth Trophy. Grant Morgan, by the way, won it last year, the great linebacker from Arkansas. He should be a finalist. It's going to be hard to imagine him winning it over Stetson Bennett. I mean, quarterback of the #1 team in the country, and the story that Stetson Bennett is. But but Josh Williams is certainly deserving of being on that list, being a finalist for it, and we'll certainly wish him luck. All right, it's after further review. Saints sign a running back. We'll get to that in just a second. Let me remind you about the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. Y'all, call the Williamson Eye Center. Schedule your consultation. The holidays are near. It's almost Christmas time. If you're thinking about a gift, I tell you all the time, give yourself the gift of sight. Maybe give that to yourself or someone else. Start thinking about that. Like, what if your Christmas gift to yourself or to someone else in your family was LASIK? I mean, I can't think of any better gift that'll last forever. Call 924-2020. If you've ever considered LASIK, if you wear contacts or glasses, call Dr. Blake Williamson's office, set up that consultation, let him explain the process, how it works, why it works, what it's like for you, and success stories of so many of his patients like me. Dr. Blake Williamson did my LASIK 4 years ago, and I'm thrilled. To this day, 4 years later, I'm still seeing better than 20/20. It is incredible to just be able to wake up in the morning and see. It has been life-changing for me, and it can be for you as well. If you were born genetically with great vision, God bless you. I'm pumped for you. But my family, genetically, awful eyes. How about that? I had bad eyes, no hair, fat guy. I mean, hit the lottery, didn't I? But we all have our pluses and minuses. But the Williamson Eye Center, Dr. Blake's phenomenal. Just schedule that consultation. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. All right, Saints have signed a running back. Aaron Wilson of Pro Football Network first reported the Saints signed Derek Gore. They tried him out for a group of free agents, which were first reported by Nick Underhill. Gore is 27 years old. This is someone who may be familiar to people in these parts. So Gore started his college career at the University of Alabama and then transferred to ULM. So he played a couple of seasons in Monroe. He was an undrafted free agent when he came into the NFL. And last year played with the Kansas City Chiefs there in 2021 and was productive with his limited opportunities. Played in 11 games for the Chiefs and ran 51 times for 256 yards. So he averaged 5 yards a carry, scored a couple of touchdowns. And a year ago, Clyde Edwards-Helaire had some injury issues, as we know. Darrell Williams was there as well. Now he's left as a free agent. But Gore was in that mix when they had some injuries. So also had 8 catches for 105 yards. So a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield, which we know the Saints like to do. And considering the injury to Mark Ingram, who was also on the injury report Wednesday, as it was released to the media, Gore likely fits into that role where the Saints just, of course, released Jake Funk, which, much to my chagrin. They've got Jordan Howard still available on the practice squad, and now you've signed Derek Gore as well to complement Alvin Kamara and Dwayne Washington. On Monday Night Football, we saw Dwayne Washington actually get a few touches, but Jordan Howard and Derek Gore would be those options there as well throughout this weekend practice, and then potentially, if you need him in the game on Sunday in Pittsburgh. So Derek Gore, former ULM running back, is signed with the New Orleans Saints to add some depth at the running back position, but it's a little dire at this point. We talked so much this offseason about the need for the Saints to go address running back. Really was hoping that they do it in the draft, but as it happened, the Saints ended up trading up, trading assets to trade up, and there wasn't a spot in the draft where they could take it back. They put a lot of eggs in the basket of Abram Smith, the undrafted free agent running back out of Baylor. That unfortunately didn't work out, and it's been a revolving door. Of course, they brought in Latavius Murray, who they love to have here, and then of course he got poached off the practice squad by the Denver Broncos, and they've tried multiple other things at this point. Jordan Howard's there now. Derek Gore. This feels. I'm not going to overstate anything relating to this. It feels very much like a Band-Aid on a broken leg. The Saints are just trying to patch holes in a leaking, sinking ship right now to make it through to the end of the season, and is just as good a shape as they can to try to then reassess. Just the crazy part is their game out of first place. So it's a benefit that in a normal year, if you were looking at a team that was 3-6, just past the halfway point, you would already be talking about what's next. Like, what's next for the future? What are you going to address in the offseason? Like, I mean, just by comparison, Like, New England is in last place in the AFC East. They're 5-4. They're 2 games better than the Saints, and they're in last place. You know, Cleveland's at 3-5. The Steelers, who the Saints are going to play this week, are at 2-6. They're in last place in their division. You know, it's just assumed they're going to miss the playoffs. Jacksonville's at 3-6 right now. The Denver Broncos are at 3-5. The Washington Commanders are last in their division. They're 4-5. They're a game better than the Saints. They're last in their division. The Saints are a game out of first place. So it's just for context when you look around the Cardinals who beat the Saints. They're 3-6. They're last in their division. A lot of these teams are already planning for next year. And the Saints still have a legitimate shot at a playoff berth because they can win a bad division. So it's odd that we're looking at how do you find a way to win as many games as you can to maybe sneak into the playoffs. But even if you do that, you know, one of the things I say often is winning masks deficiencies. And even if this team were to somehow find a way to get to 7 or 8 wins and win a wackadoo tiebreaker in a terrible division, that doesn't mask the deficiencies that you have on this roster and within this organization. And hopefully it doesn't. And there are a lot of wholesale changes in this offseason that are needed to make sure they can compete consistently again, because right now they're not close to that. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Got overrated, underrated. We got some Pluckers trivia ahead. We got to get the Tigers and the pros later this hour. Russ Mitchell next hour as well. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Blue Bonnet Dining, Carry-Out, or Delivery. We'll knock out a quick break and continue on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Of course, Saints and Steelers on Sunday from Pittsburgh, Steel City. If you're going to have a game watch party at the house, if you're not making the trek up to the East Coast, man, swing on by Rouse's. You're going to have people over to the house, no worries. Rouse's can take care of all the food. Go to the website, rouses.com, or their app, and just hit the Our Food tab, and you can see everything that they have to offer, from the all of the chefs, the butchers, the bakers, the certified seafood experts in every store. They got you covered. And I want you to start thinking about this. Not only do they cater, but they can handle your entire Thanksgiving meal. From the turkey and the ham to all the stuff in the dressing and all the sides that you want from your traditional holiday meal and everything involved. You can get that holiday meal ordered from Rouse's. They take care of everything. You just heat and eat. It's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouses.com. Rouse's. This feels like home.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
At Corville Toyota in Opelousas, we're happy to say we have vehicles in stock and more coming in at no markup. Don't pay over MSRP. Come on down to Corville Toyota and pick out your new Toyota today. That's Corville Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25%.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I went to go take a leak during the break. Not that you needed to know that. I checked the show text line, and many of you had sent it, but shout out Matthew Gotros, the first one I saw sent it. The Texas A&M yell practice drop that Musso couldn't find.
It'd have been really nice when we were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah.
If one of those many people could have sent that, that would have saved me probably about an hour of watching yell practice.
Did you really spend an hour watching yell practice videos?
Matt, I was trying to find the clip that you wanted. I watched, because look, they have like the full 23-minute videos of it on YouTube. And I would just click through to where they'd start their stupid little roast and watch each one.
Muse, I really need to help you.
I looked on Twitter.
I need to help you become more efficient at searching some of these things.
I looked on Twitter for it.
That I literally, with one hand doing, aiming, and the other hand scrolling, found that video in the break on Twitter.
Well, what'd you type in? That could be the key thing.
We'll work on that with you. We'll work on that. I'll help. I'll help. This was the wait, where is it? I'm gonna find it now. I'm gonna find the video of yell practice. Hang on, I was at the screen. Hang on. So the whole thing was the yell leaders. There it is. So I told Musso here that in perpetuity, I know when we do Around the SEC, I no longer want to hear the voice guy intro. If you're not with us in hour number 1, bottom of hour 1, we do Around the SEC, just headlines from around the league, and we have the voice guy, which introduces each school. So can you play the voice guy?
The Texas A&M Aggies.
So I told Muse, because yesterday I went Texas A&M, and I was like, I never want voice guy ever again. I want you to get the drop of the yell leader saying Texas A&M. And use that. Well, today we had a Texas A&M story and Around the SEC, and Musso played this.
Fighting Texas Aggie.
Which is not the one that I wanted.
Still pretty stupid, though.
Happy birthday, kid.
That's what followed that.
Fighting Texas Aggie. Happy birthday, kid.
Yeah, that's what that was.
This, however, is the one that I wanted.
Texas A&M.
What an idiot. What an idiot. I mean, here's the thing. Look at all the guys in the background with their overalls, with their names on it. Hold on, look. There's Nathan and Zach. There's Kip.
There's Kip. Happy birthday, Kip. Shouts out to you, my man.
Oh,
hope it was a good
God, one. What an idiot.
I love that they have the sign language person there. They take it that seriously.
Well, because they video them, obviously. So a lot of people are watching it. Yeah, but it's closed they could just close caption it for the hearing compare.
Look, if it's for a video, they might want to make sure that person's in the video the whole time because they're not always in the video. I'm just saying.
That's actually a really good point. Very salient point from Muso at 440. He's thinking clearly now. Oh my God. No, and here's the thing. Like, I respect very much the fact that they love their school and they got great tradition there and they're very passionate and all that stuff. I do. And I don't even care that they do yell practice. Like, it's quirky and goofy and none of us get it, right? But to them, they get it. It's their culture. It's whatever, right? So fine. That's what you do. You love it. They're all into it. They get it. It's fine. Just don't video it.
Yeah.
Like, that's your problem. I mean, we've heard about yell practice forever, right?
Yeah.
Until recently, none of us have ever seen all the goofy roasts that go on, and that's the worst part. If you want to do the fight song and all the hullabaloo, connect, the swaying stuff, whoop, oh, whatever, okay. But I mean,
thank you for that.
Whoop. Is that going to be a drop?
It might be. It might be.
It'll be like hour 2 of AFR. I'm Matt.
Yeah.
I mean, God, dog.
Look, I've learned more about yell practice in the last day than I really ever thought I would. Yeah.
I want it again. Hold on, I want it again.
Texas A&M!
Oh man!
The jokes, if you even want to call them that, I mean,
so bad.
They're terrible. They're terrible.
Play it again. Texas
A&M!
Oh man! Let's do. We're brought to you by Relief Windows. I don't think Brandon Holly's super pumped about me doing his Relief Windows live read right next. Play it again, right next to this.
Texas A&M!
Hey, but you know what? If you're in College Station and you need a big old building, a whole bunch of windows, I bet you Brandon Holly will come to you. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. They do it all. Experience, quality, and service. Remember, at Relief Windows, they will never take $1 from you until the work is finished and you are thrilled with the work that they've done. That's the promise at Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Relief Windows, ReliefWindows.com. Check them out or go see their beautiful new showroom on Airline Highway in Prairieville. If you're going south on Airline, you cross Highway 42, look to the right. You can't miss it. It's Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, let's go quick news. Let's do some overrated, underrated. I'm crying. Oh, my God. Happy birthday, Cap!
Overrated. Or underrated.
Oh, man.
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
Like, that's going to be the whole week leading up to the A&M game.
They include their graduation year in it, and I don't understand why. I don't get it. Like, I don't know. Beat the class of 23 hell out of insert team here. What does that even mean? You're not on the field.
Beat the fight Texas class 2023 hell out of Texas.
Yeah, I don't get it, man. Look,
but that's my point.
I know.
We don't get it, but they do, and that's fine. Like, I'm not hating on your tradition. Do the thing, but like, if it's silly and goofy and stupid and everyone's going to laugh at you, then just like...
Don't record it.
Yeah, don't record it and put it on Twitter, you moron.
Anyway, overrated or underrated tetherball?
Tetherball. Tetherball... I'm going to say tetherball is overrated because it is dangerous. You can get walloped with a tetherball. Little kids, I mean, Google tetherball videos of little kids. They get walloped. Overrated. Tetherball needs to go.
Overrated or underrated? Boneless wings.
Boneless wings are underrated. That's going to be a controversial take to some.
I'm surprised by this. Continue.
Again, it's not that it's my preference, and some people say, oh, I got to have it on the bone. I don't care what you want. You can have all white meat chicken with the same experience. Breaded, fried, toss in your favorite sauce, and everyone would enjoy it. Like, my wife will not eat anything on a bone. If it's got, I'm not eating a bone. You know what? Bone is disgusting. Like, she don't want anything on a bone. Pork chop, chicken, no matter. She ain't eat. If it's on a bone, she don't want it. You get little boneless wings. She'll eat boneless wings. Yeah. So, underrated.
Poppable.
Don't hate on it just because it's not a traditional.
I like both. I like both. I like both. Overrated or underrated? Joe Rogan.
still underrated. $100 million deal with Spotify. The fact that he has gone from Fear Factor guy to one of the faces of the UFC to the most popular podcast in the world and still continuing to grow as multidimensional as he is, Joe Rogan is still underrated. He is far from done.
All right, last one. Overrated or underrated? Koozies.
Underrated. Some people, I don't need a koozie, I'll just hold it. Why? If anyone turns down a koozie, there's no reason to ever turn down a koozie. There isn't a reason. There isn't a reason. It'll keep your drink colder. You won't get condensation on your hand. Like, what, do you feel like you're a ninny because you have a koozie? Like, why would you deny a koozie? I don't need a koozie. Yeah, I'll take a koozie. Yeah, 100% of the time. Got a koozie? I'll take a koozie. If I'm at a restaurant and they're like, hey, you want a koozie with your beer? Yeah, that's awesome. Y'all got koozies here. Yes, give me a koozie with my beer. At home, I like frosted glasses. I will take a frosty glass out of my freezer, put the frosty glass into a koozie, and then pour the beer into the frosted glass. Yes, there's no reason to ever turn down a koozie. I cannot think of a reason ever to turn down a koozie.
If I'm going out and I know I need a koozie and I forget it, I will go back and get it. I will turn around and go get it.
Well, that's a little extreme.
Nope, I will do it. That's overrated or underrated.
It is. That's extreme. Okay, what you just said, that's overrated.
It's happened.
That's overrated. Oh, it's overrated. All right, overrated, underrated. We'll knock out a quick break. Muse will have Tigers in the pros. Coming up after the top of the hour, I keep getting this question about why is the LSU Arkansas game a rivalry? I feel like we talk about that every year. But there is one prominent member of the media who thinks LSU's path to the playoff is far more circuitous than just winning out. We're going to get to that in about 15 minutes. Don't you move. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery, 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Buy local, shop local. You know where they are, Seagoneer Airline. If you're heading away from I-10 toward Airline, it's on the left, right next to the car dealership. LA-16 in Denham. Get off the interstate at Denham, go left. Cross over to LA-16. It's on the left. You can't miss it. It's not in the Garden Center within a 5-mile radius. Mid-City on Donmore. If you're on Florida, you turn on to Donmore. It's on the right. And then the Garden Center, that's on Greenwell Springs. If you're heading out of Central toward Baton Rouge on Greenwell Springs, as soon as you get past the thanks for visiting Central sign, it's on the right. You know where it is. That's Clegg's Nursery. For more than 60 years. Clegg's, leading garden center in our communities. If you need those fall flowers or plants, great time to plant them. This is the time of year to plant trees and shrubs. So if you want those privacy shrubs, or the fruit trees, they got you with a great selection at Clegg's. And hunters, buckbusters, mobucks, all that stuff, they still got it, but when it's gone for the season. Clegg's Nursery.
I am Juliette, daughter of Marguerite, granddaughter of Gabriel Piera. I come from a line of strong women who knew struggle and success too. Still, I was scared by my breast cancer diagnosis, but I had Blue Cross coverage, which meant I got care from top doctors. I'm strong like my mother and her mother before her. The right card, the right care.
I'm Chris Nakamoto. Here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. Governor John Bel Edwards is lifting his silence today, days after DCFS admitted it failed to do the right things again after a child overdosed on fentanyl. Despite the leader of DCFS saying she's in lockstep with the governor as it pertains to her agency, the governor carefully choosing his words, but not saying that. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit.
Let's go, defense!
We get it done with passion for our fans and love for our community. We are the Tigers.
Get it done. Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 60 months on new 2022 Ford F-150s. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
All right, let's say ah.
Where'd my spotlight go?
Super weird, but we can take care of it.
Get it.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Remember, every Wednesday is Trivia Night at Pluckers, 7:30 at Blue Bonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Test your knowledge, win Pluckers gift cards, great prizes from vendors all over Baton Rouge. Spin the prize wheel. Every team, even if you don't win a round, you get to spin the wheel over at Pluckers, Nicholson, or Blue Bonnet. Trivia every Wednesday. You don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. All right, Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
All right, get you some updates on injury and injury reports from around the NFL. Let's start with the game for Thursday night on Amazon Prime. The Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons, which, boy, they're just gangbuster of a schedule continues on Thursday Night Football.
Let's go.
Dante Jackson for the Panthers, questionable, officially listed as questionable for tomorrow's game with an ankle injury. We'll get you an update tomorrow in Tigers and Pros before that game. Also, LSU Tigers on injury report. Of course, you have Jarvis Landry for the New Orleans Saints as well. That was a projected injury report, but would have been limited in practice today with an ankle injury. And then for the Buccaneers, Russell Gage did not practice today. He's got a hamstring injury. So a bit of an injury play dear for Gage in Tampa, his first year in Tampa.
You hate to see it.
I feel like you don't.
No, he plays for Tampa.
That's it.
I don't want Tom Brady to have weapons that are available to him. I want them to continue to stink. I want all good things in life for Russell Gage, former Tiger and all that good stuff, but not at the expense of the Saints. And I want the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to stink and Tom Brady to continue to break iPads on the sideline or Microsoft Surfaces, as it were.
Well, he couldn't log in. He forgot the password.
He forgot the password. That's why I threw it.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty good one-line.
Oh, it was pretty. Eat your heart out, Brian Kelly. Full slate of NBA action tonight. The Brooklyn Nets will be in action. No Ben Simmons in that game, but you will see Cam Thomas. Cam coming off a 19-point performance in the Nets' last outing. The Houston Rockets, they will be in action. They visit the Toronto Raptors, so keep an eye out for Tari Eason in that one. And then the Minnesota Timberwolves, they will host the Phoenix Suns. You know that means Naz Reid will be coming off the bench, causing havoc for the Timberwolves in Minneapolis. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. That's lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. 2 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, Corporate and Bocage, and in the Mall of Louisiana. Gentlemen, if you are thinking of popping the question, holidays are almost here. Christmas time proposals, very popular. Go where Baton Rouge is going to get engaged for 40 years. That's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Learn more online at lmfj.com. No matter your budget, you will always get the Lee Michaels experience at lmfj.com. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com. All right, it's after further review. Coming up after the top of the hour, I do want to delve into a little deeper into what one prominent college football analyst says is not a direct path for LSU into the playoffs. So we'll get to that coming up after the top of the hour. I'm just looking at Twitter, and I saw Sean Farnham, who's a college basketball analyst, tweeted that he's transitioning off of Twitter. So for exclusive interviews and such, follow him on Instagram. We haven't talked about this yet here. I don't know why people are so upset at Twitter. Elon Musk bought Twitter. He's changed a lot of things, like you can buy a blue check mark and all this stuff now. You do realize Twitter is still a free platform to use. I'll never understand people that complain about something that's free. It's literally free to download the app and use it, and to share and to accumulate followers and promote things that you want. It is a free megaphone. Why are you complaining? I mean, I don't understand why people are. I mean, I get Twitter culture, as a lot of people go to Twitter to complain about things, but there is a degree of irony that people are going to Twitter to complain about Twitter, the platform that's giving them the platform to complain. Anyway, do you. Just go be happy in life. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a break. We'll come back, get you caught up on SportsCenter. National headlines are coming right at you. And when we come back, a national analyst describes LSU's path to the playoff, and it ain't straight line. We'll talk about it next. AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana. Y'all, tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. Tomorrow is the day. Christmas in November. When is it? Muse, when is it? When is it?
Tomorrow.
It is tomorrow. Thank you. Tomorrow is the day. Thursday at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. It is Christmas in November, 1 day only. Biggest sale of the year, 1 day only. Best prices of the year. You obviously don't have to use all of these things on that 1 day only, but for 1 day only to get the best price on every product or service at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. They'll be there in the morning from 10 until 2. They'll take a little break, come back at 4 until. There, it is catered. There is complimentary champagne and wine and beer. There is entertainment. It is a great, fun event, and you get the best prices of the year at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit. We get it done with passion for our fans and love for our community. We are the Tigers.
Get it done. Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Jacques Vaughn is now officially the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski reports he'll get a 2-year deal. Vaughn's been the interim coach since Steve Nash was fired last week, and the Nets backed away from hiring suspended Celtics coach Ime Udoka. ESPN's Nick Friedel.
I do think they'll give Jacques a chance to be the guy and try to put together a winning year, but Ime was really well liked during his time as an assistant in Brooklyn.
Nick Friedel on Barton Hahn. Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford is now in the NFL concussion protocol. There was no indication he had symptoms 3 days ago against the Buccaneers. John Wolford will get the start Sunday if Stafford isn't cleared to play against the Cardinals. Bills quarterback Josh Allen did not practice today with his right elbow injury. His status still uncertain for Sunday's game against the Vikings. If Allen can't play, Case Keenum will start. And Dusty Baker will be back next season as manager of the World Series champion Astros.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yep.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Oh, it's a hump day. That's what it is, Campbell.
Hump day.
It's a day where we melt over what a bunch of people in a room in a hotel in suburban Dallas spewed out to us last night on a made-for-TV show.
It's hump day.
We'll get into it a little bit.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's the day when Russ Mitchell comes on AFR.
Hump day.
Yes, 4-8 Russ Mitchell.
It's hump day.
Who did ask me privately to get him the best parody T-shirt that I could find from this past weekend's win over Alabama.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
So if anybody has created a LSU beating Alabama T-shirt,
hump day.
Russ Mitchell would like one.
It's hump day.
LSU basketball tips off in 2 hours.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's Christmas.
Hump day.
Kelly's at Chicago.
It's hump day.
Get them above 500. 5-5.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
It's 4-6 against the spread.
Hump day.
Get rolling a little bit.
It's hump day.
It's time. All right, let's get going.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Let's get going. Oh, by the way, Jack Collada from WGNO. Keep this going for a second. asked me Monday at the Brian Kelly press conference what the song was that we do for Hump Day. I was like, well, that's the Chili Peppers. It's the Humpty Bump. So wait, but it's like got all the camel drops and I was like, no. Like, it's just a button bar. Like, every time I say something and pause, Muso hits it.
It's Hump Day.
He's like, you should, like, release that on iTunes. I'm like, I think the Chili Peppers might have something to say about that. And maybe Geico as well, because those are all drops from their commercial. But we are infringing upon many people's copyright, I would imagine, with should we drop that as a single. In the meantime, go buy Red Hot Chili Peppers music, including the Humpty Bump, which is a great song. And shout out to Jimmy Chesthair, a.k.a. James Harrelson, or should I say James Harrelson, a.k.a. Jimmy Chesthair, who was the original idea behind the whole Humpty Bump Hump Day thing anyway. So, all right, it's after further review. Thanks for being here. Russ Mitchell in about 10 minutes from right now. LSU is 7th in the CFP rankings. I'm sure you know my feelings. I loathe the CFP rankings. If you have any doubt to the legitimacy of this or whether or not this is a made-for-TV special, did you notice yesterday when it started, Reese Davis was standing like he was coming out of the White House? There was like a red carpet behind him with flags and everything because it was Election Day. The whole thing is a made-for-TV spectacle. It's all it is. It's nothing more than an opportunity for ESPN to have an hour. Is it 30 minutes or an hour? Is the show 30 minutes or an hour?
I believe it's an hour.
So it's an hour of content for ESPN to fill on a Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Whatever. It just, none of what was discussed yesterday matters at all, but I understand that you all have an interest in it, so we will talk about it to a degree. Heather Dinich, who covers the college football playoff for ESPN, had this to say about LSU's lot in this playoff life.
Heather, what was your big takeaway from the rankings?
A couple of things, Reese. It starts with Tennessee, and they are still in a position to finish in the top 4. They're actually right where they want to be on the bubble because you know somebody above them is going to lose because Ohio State and Michigan play each other. Tennessee still has 2 of the best wins in the country against Alabama and LSU, and it's important they're above Oregon because if Oregon finishes as a one-loss Pac-12 champ and Tennessee is sitting there at 11-1, right now we know the committee thinks that Tennessee is a better team. We'll see if a conference championship could change that in the end. But another thing, Reese, is LSU at number 7 is the key to chaos in the college football playoff because if they run the table and they win the SEC, I think the committee makes them the first 2-loss team to make it into the college football playoff. If they were to beat Georgia and Alabama, I don't think there's any doubt. But then what do they do with Georgia? What do they do with Tennessee? If there's chaos in those other Power 5 conferences, that's the only way I think the committee is realistically looking at those 3 teams. And then lastly, Reese, Clemson and the ACC are in the worst shape of any Power 5 conference. They have teams behind them from the Pac-12 that could jump them. And it really hurt not just Clemson, but the ACC that Syracuse and Wake Forest fell out. Now their best win is against NC State. And you guys saw it. They just don't look like a top 4 team.
So Heather Dinich there essentially said she feels like a 2-loss SEC champion LSU would be in. She said that definitively. And that is the key to chaos. And she is right. Because the cleanest thing for the committee would be undefeated Georgia, undefeated Big Ten champion, Ohio State or Michigan, undefeated TCU Big 12 champion, and then pick the best 1-loss team, which would likely be a 1-loss Tennessee. That's likely how it would go. You'd basically be picking between 1-loss Tennessee or a 1-loss Pac-12 champion, Oregon or Southern Cal. It just becomes much cleaner. The real challenge, though, becomes what happens if LSU does win out and beat Georgia. Now you have a 1-loss Georgia, a 1-loss Tennessee. You have a 2-loss SEC champion with wins over Bama and Georgia. And then you have a whole bunch of 1-loss conference champions. In particular, if Texas beats TCU this weekend, which I think will happen. That's what I want to happen. Candidly, I tell you this all the time. I root for chaos. I want chaos because chaos is only a further illustration of why we need an expanded playoff, which we're going to get now. I mean, they've approved an expanded playoff. It's just a matter of in what year it will be. It'll be live. They can make it happen sooner than later. But this is all evidence of why we need an expanded playoff. And LSU is a case in point. Teams are allowed to improve as the season goes along. LSU today is not the same team they were against Florida State. So essentially what you're saying then is that there is no room for improvement throughout a season. You have to be playing your best ball week one. And if you're not, then you need not apply. Well, that's just not how it works in sports. Teams get better. I mean, all season we talked about the Philadelphia Phillies, how they should trade Aaron Nola, those cowards, because they gave him no run support and they were wasting his career. They ended up in the World Series. I mean, Eli Manning's going to be a Hall of Famer because he took a couple of 9-win teams to the Super Bowl and won them. Like, teams are allowed to improve. That's the beauty of a playoff system. And college football needs it. That's why we're ultimately heading there. But I root for chaos openly. Heather Dinich said point blank that she feels a 2-loss LSU is a shoo-in. They will be in the playoffs. She said that definitively. Reese Davis, however, was on SportsCenter with Scott Van Pelt, and he disagreed.
My judgment of this is they still need some more help because I know they will have beaten Georgia. But again, and maybe I put too much emphasis on margin or the way a game went, not necessarily just the margin, but the way Tennessee throttled them in Baton Rouge. To me, you can't take LSU ahead of Tennessee, even if they win the SEC. Or at least I shouldn't say you can't. Maybe they will. I wouldn't.
I will restate what I said in 2016. So this is consistent now. This isn't me lobbying for this because I went to LSU and that's my school. In 2016, and we can go put, like, everything we say here is archived. I was livid in 2016 that Penn State, which won the Big Ten, and albeit had a head-to-head win over Ohio State, was left out, and Ohio State got in. In this instance, as we describe it, if it were to transpire, LSU would be the conference champion, but Tennessee would have the head-to-head. What do you value more? What do you value more? A conference champion, a conference championship has to matter. Otherwise, why are we playing in conferences? So it's the same thing in the NFL. Why division winners get an automatic berth in the playoff. If that's going to be your structure, and the thing is in the NFL, it's everybody is an NFL team, right? Everybody is a pro, which is why you say if you win your division, you're in, regardless of how good or bad the division is. In the Power 5, you're in essence saying the same thing. Now, you and I both know the conference champion of the SEC is stronger than the conference champion of the ACC. Like, we know the number 2 team in the SEC, whoever that may end up being. If Tennessee, let's say Georgia wins the league and Tennessee is 11-1, Tennessee is better than Clemson. I think we all definitively believe that. But if you're going to structure it to say, here's your Power 5, and that's how you have structured your postseason, then you are tacitly agreeing that these teams are all, in theory, level. Their leagues are all level. It's a Power 5. And yes, that balance ebbs and flows, but the champion of those leagues should be rewarded as such. Which is why we need an expanded playoff. And we're going to get it, hopefully soon. But LSU's got business at hand. All right, we'll knock out a break. Mr. 4-8 himself. What do you think Russ is going to say? Muse, what do you think Russ is going to say? What do you think he's going to say?
I honestly don't know.
All right. Paul, what do you think he's going to say? You've listened to it for a long time. What do you think he's going to say? Does he double down? Does he apologize? Or be a culpa coming? What do you think?
I think he doubles down.
Oh, wow. Wouldn't that be something? You beat Bama and he doubles down. What if he says LSU only wins one more game the rest of the way?
I think that'd count as doubling down.
Yeah, I know, right? We'll find out next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. For years, I've told you about the Mako robot for knee replacement surgery, but robotics and joint replacements are only part. Joint replacements are only part of what they do at the Robotics Institute at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. People often ask, wait, does that mean the robot's performing the surgery? No, definitively no. Amazing surgeons perform your surgery, but the robot or the robotic arm is a tool which allows the surgeon to be more skilled in their craft. Smaller incisions, more precise cuts, less downtime. You're talking about things that become minimally invasive, personalized care. You can learn more about all of the different robotic surgical options that they have. If it's hernia surgery, general surgery, reflux and esophageal surgery. They've got it all at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Learn more at brgeneral.org.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 60 months on new 2022 Ford F-150s. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana Barbecue Sauce, Louisiana Molasses Mustard, Spicy and Sweet Barbecue Rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
If they give you a nickname, you're good.
Rusty, come on up here. I'm getting tired of saying Tigers. There's too many Tigers in the league already.
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
You know, I mean, they're going to run this kid around like a rented step-headed mule.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
And I'm calling you out, man. We'll cut this clip and send it out there to Spurrier and the fellas.
It's like Troy. Take it, Russ.
All right. The moment so many of you have been waiting for. But God bless him. He keeps coming back. My dear friend, Russ Mitchell. On Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFP. How are you, Russ?
I'm picking Arkansas. What a game, man. What a game. What a game.
Woo! I guess 10 is the new 4, eh?
I was going to do that, but it was funnier at 9.
Yeah, it was funnier at 9. It would just keep evolving it, however. Right? Maybe it does lose a little bit of its gusto there.
So what's new? What's new in Baton Rouge?
So LSU beat Alabama on Saturday. I'm not sure if you happened to catch any of that game. So Brian Kelly,
3 times.
year 1, probably his what will end up being his least talented team after he continues piling recruiting classes. Beats Alabama year 1. Did you have a single biggest observation or takeaway from the game itself?
I had 2. First, just as a little side note, boy, I'm glad LSU won because that was a tipped ball.
I know.
In overtime, and like how that wasn't called is mind-numbing. Particularly since the kid was like, you can't fake it like that. It's like when there's illegal motion and 6 guys on defense all point at the same time. It's like there definitely was motion. You just can't coordinate that.
Right.
So that was I'm glad that we don't have to talk anymore about that.
Yeah, amen.
But the second thing was, boy, I thought that LSU's defensive line looked great, and everyone wanted to talk about LSU's offensive line, and I mean they weren't spectacular. I mean 6 sacks, 11 tackles for loss. I mean Daniels helped them make them look good, but y'all were all over Young. And I don't know if it's been talked about very much, but I think, I presume you've given a lot of credit to the punting team.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, good. And I thought in the first quarter, you pinned Young back deep for most of that first quarter, right in the student section basically, and that seemed to really get in his head, and he had a miserable day, under 50% completion percentage. He had that one amazing pass where he scrambled around like Johnny Manziel and just threw up the ball for a touchdown, but I thought he had one of the worst games I've seen him play as a player, which says a lot. Because, it wasn't that bad, but, he had at least 6 or 8 plays where he wasn't even close, and I think that was a reflection of LSU's defense.
Defense was fantastic. Jaden Daniels obviously made a ton of plays in the ball game as well. Yep. And so this team, the conversation around LSU completely changes. It's no longer nice season, nice bowl game, good year 1. I mean, Russ, they're a win and an Ole Miss loss away from going to Atlanta. So when you look ahead, we'll talk about the rest of the league in a second. When you look ahead to this weekend against Arkansas, how do you think that shakes out?
And I have to obviously pick Arkansas, but I didn't even come out. I'm superstitious, right? So
I thought you loved all of your children the same.
I love all my children the same, all of them. I actually found, we're going to save that for another time. It was an interesting weekend last weekend.
You can't do that.
You love all your children. You love all your children the same. You do. You just you kind of root for some more than others. That's just how it is. You got friendships that transcend your familial obligations. And I very, very rarely ever find myself, hoping to see good things happen to the Florida Gators.
Right.
I cover them professionally, and I will write about them objectively. But if they were to fall off the edge of the earth and disappear forever, I wouldn't cry at all.
So you do not love all your children the same.
So I love all my children.
No, you don't.
But I love them all the same. But I actually found myself happy to see them beat A&M, which surprised me. Surprised me a lot. Boy, A&M, what a train wreck, man! Oh my God, what a train wreck! But let's focus. Let's focus.
You're the one losing focus, bro.
I am, brother. LSU is 6-0 when they run for more than 4.7 yards per carry when they run for, let's just say, 5, right? When they run for 5 a carry. And they did that against Bama. They did that against Ole Miss. And this is a Arkansas defense that has not done a very good job of stopping the run. And I think that'll play out. I think some folks are talking about the fact that it's an early game, and the Tigers, as we all know, sometimes, on occasion, fail to show up until the second half of games that start early.
Yeah.
But I don't think that'll be the case with Brian Kelly. I don't think he's that kind of coach. I think he'll have everybody very, very ready, and I think there's a lot to play for in this game. It's not like, LSU has lost the game to Alabama and, the season, quote unquote, is over, and now they find themselves in Arkansas. There's a trip to Atlanta to play Georgia here. So I think they'll be ready. And another thing, when you're watching this game this weekend, there's one thing I want you to pay attention to, brother. Arkansas, I think they're dead last, if not dead last, then close to dead last in the conference this year in getting their defense off the field. They can't stop opposing teams on third down. So if that ends up materializing in the LSU game, then I think LSU wins handedly. So, LSU should own third downs in this game.
Okay, that's a really good stat to watch. KJ Jefferson, his health is just a gigantic factor in this as well. If he's not healthy, it becomes a completely one-sided affair. Russ Mitchell's with us on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. I think we all kind of had the same takeaway with Georgia and Tennessee. Were you surprised at how dominant Georgia was?
Yes. I think that, if you look at the Tennessee team, they've played 2 really, really good defenses. And one, they kind of had their way, and the other one, they were annihilated. And I think the difference is, obviously, that LSU's team overall has gotten better, really matured as the season has gone along. What I was most surprised about in the game was that they, clearly they put a ton of pressure on Hooker, but also that it was how much Hooker struggled. I mean, you didn't see any of those deep balls connect that, if you're an LSU fan, you saw all afternoon when they were in Death Valley. So, that was another really impressive performance by Georgia.
So when you look ahead to this weekend, we talked, obviously, about LSU Arkansas. The other really significant game that LSU is keeping an eye on is Alabama Ole Miss, because if Alabama beats Ole Miss and LSU beats Arkansas, then LSU clinches. But Saban and them, the Crimson Tide, man, they have struggled on the road the last 2 years. And we saw that transpire again Saturday, and here they go. Back-to-back road games. So what's your chuckle?
So let's put a pin in it for a second, just because we say the word struggle, and these are like games on the road in some of the most challenging places to play, and they lose in overtime by 1 in a place that's called Death Valley, and they lose, on a field goal to the other. So the bar is set so high for Alabama because of the success that they've had that, we consider it struggling, right? But it is what it is, right? By the way, I want to go back to the LSU game after this and talk about the Saban going for 2. But actually, let's do that quickly. What a bonehead decision. That has not been discussed enough. Like, that is, I know what this stupid card tells you to do, but like, in what world are you not thinking, if we just get the extra point here, they were up by enough that LSU has to score a touchdown. It's the only thing they can go for, and if they do, they'll only be up by 2. We can kick a field goal, win the game.
I did talk about that on post-game with T-Bob, and I agree with you. But listen, I also think...
Just when you...
No, go ahead.
When you're thinking about this whole stupid card thing, right, this analytics thing, you're thinking about probabilities. What's the most likely probability? The most likely probability, particularly with the way the momentum in that game was with the teams going back and forth in the fourth quarter. LSU has to score a touchdown. In that scenario, they're just going to kick the extra point. They'll kick like they did. They kick the extra point. You're only down by 2 if you kick the extra point the time before. It was just such a bonehead decision. He's made some very poor. You know how I feel about Nick, right? I don't think he's the greatest coach. He's one of the world's greatest recruiters, which always gives – he might be the greatest recruiter in the history of all college sports, even better than John Wooden in basketball. And he does a great job of, if he's got an extra week, 2 weeks to prepare, he does a great job. But game day coaching – he is not in the top 10 of great game day coaching. And he's been out-coached several times this year.
I don't think that that's unfair, quite honestly. We've seen Nick's teams run roughshod over a lot of people, and you're often not making critical decisions in key moments of games when you're beating everybody by 3 touchdowns. So I think to that point it's fair. The conversation that you brought up about the 2-point conversions, we did talk about that. And T-Bob pushed back. He's like, look, it's analytics. It's what you do. And I subscribe more to what you do, where it's like never go for 2 until you need it. And Alabama was leading at that point. They went for 2 twice, Russ. I mean, and had they kicked the PAT both times, and I understand at the time when Alabama went up 15-14, you're thinking go for 2 to go up 3 points because going up 2 doesn't matter. But that's assuming that there aren't going to be any more scores in the game.
Exactly.
And I'm going to operate under the assumption that there are going to be more scores in the game. So and there were many more scores in the game after that. So
if you score 5 touchdowns, that's 5 points.
Yeah.
just kick the point. I agree with you. But anyway, back to the Alabama Ole Miss game.
Yeah.
The passing game, Alabama's passing game, we talked about this at the beginning, didn't work against LSU. Not what we expect. They don't have a wide receiver. They don't have that go-to wide receiver this year. And by the way, it wasn't very good against Mississippi State either. If you watched that game, I know they crushed them playing at home, but their passing game wasn't very good against State. Now here comes Ole Miss. Lost in the Ole Miss win on Kyle Field is the fact that, Ole Miss's secondary made Wegman look like Joe Burrow. Kid threw for 350 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So if you've got a passing game that's struggling, the team you want to play is Ole Miss. So I like Alabama in this game.
Okay. You like Alabama big?
If they were playing at home, I like them big, but, that's the caveat in this game, right? Same thing with the Georgia-Tennessee game. Same thing as it turned out with LSU-Alabama. You're playing in the SEC, it's on the road, and Alabama struggled on the road. But I don't expect Ole Miss. I don't expect Ole Miss.
Road?
I don't expect Ole Miss's secondary. We're in the middle of November. The team is what it is, and it doesn't know how to play pass defense. So this is going to be, and by the way, if you've ever been to Ole Miss, lovely place, beautiful girls. They redshirt their Miss Americas, but it's not Death Valley, right? Not even close. It's not going to be as loud. So I like Alabama. In particular, we could do a little side bet. I think Young has a very, very good game. You might even see a performance of over 400 yards from Young in this game.
Wow, that's a big number.
Yeah.
Okay, hey, before you go, either Auburn or Texas A&M will clinch a losing season on Saturday. Who is it?
I love how you said that.
I love that you love it.
A&M's offense. A&M's offense hasn't been that bad, man. They've gone. They've lost 5 games straight, but in the last 2 weeks they've had over 400 yards in each of those losses, right? And they've run the ball well. Lost in Auburn's season this year is that when teams can run the ball against Auburn, they're 0-6, counting for that if you factor for the Missouri that breakdown in overtime, right? So if you can run the ball against Auburn, you can beat them. And I think that it doesn't matter if it doesn't matter if Auburn loses. Cadillac won't be the coach next year. Whereas I think A&M, there's a lot for them in winning this game. So I like A&M at home. Again, another home team.
This is at Auburn.
Is it at Auburn? That's right. Yes,
this is at Auburn. And Russ, this is sold out. They sold out this game. The people in Auburn have really rallied behind Cadillac.
Cadillac, yeah, I know. That's what we've been hearing. I still like it.
Okay.
I thought it was great how they came back in the second half against State, but when you look on this on paper, A&M should be able to run the ball against Auburn. That'll be the difference.
I think A&M has the better roster. I do agree with you. But boy, I don't know, man. There's something about A&M looks like they quit. Would you agree? There's something to be said. Like LSU last year at the end of the year, like Ole Miss, Kentucky, they quit in those games.
I would love to agree with you, but I've watched every A&M game this year at least twice, and I disagree. They could have folded easily in the Florida game. They could have folded easily in the Ole Miss game. They were fighting deep into the fourth quarter in both of those games.
Okay.
They've had some bad injuries. They don't have team cohesion. We talked about this last week. I think this whole NIL thing, when we really have enough data to start looking at how this is changing the game in terms of, bringing kids in and paying them and paying some kids and not other kids. And, they don't have a lot of cohesion on that A&M team right now.
Yeah.
And, that I think is more of an issue than kids quitting during the game. They might quit before the game, but I don't think they're quitting during the game.
Okay. Russ Mitchell, college football news on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. So LSU, what are we thinking? 7 and 5?
They lose to Arkansas by 7.
Okay.
There's no way I'm picking LSU in any game for the rest of the year. I don't care. I'm not picking them.
Thank you, Russ. We'll talk next week.
Talk to you later.
All right, see you. It's after further review. We'll continue.
AFR.
Tell you about Mold Zero USA, mold-0usa.com. Give Jim and the gang over at Mold Zero a call. They're in the greater Baton Rouge and greater New Orleans areas. So no matter where you are, Baton Rouge or New Orleans, Mold Zero can help you out. That includes the North Shore as well. So go to the website, mold-0usa.com. Spell out Z-E-R-O. So mold-0usa.com. Mold Zero is a patented, non-toxic dry fog treatment. Got mold? Don't think you got to cut sheetrock or any of that sort of stuff. Call Jim, the gang, give you a free estimate. Come in. They'll spray this fog. It'll kill all of the mold, and it'll get into every nook and cranny, eliminate odors, other pathogens, and it's completely safe. You just wait for the fog to dissipate, then you're back in your home. Literally just a matter of a couple of hours. Mold-0usa.com.
They said I was small, weak, said my heart wasn't strong enough. But I showed them what heart looked like, again and again and again. Mom got me the right care, the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Don't let people tell you who you are. Show them the right card, the right care.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Enter now for a chance to win a catch and cook fishing experience from the Louisiana Charter Boat Association with me, Chef Jay Ducote, winner of Beat Bobby Flay. Register now at gocatch.com. That's GEAUX catch.com.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right. The Matt McMahon era tips off in an hour and 19 minutes. Excited for it. I will not be in that number. T-Bob and I will be at Oliver Twist, of course. Scone and Tea every Wednesday from Oliver Twist, 7 to 8 p.m. If you can come join us, please do. The break-even pour tonight is 29-year Crown Royal. 29-year. It's incredible. I mean, that's something that would normally be about $75 a pour for an ounce. It's going to be $15 tonight. So come on, join us. If you can't, of course, get on out to the PMAC or get on by Pluckers. Of course, every Wednesday at both Pluckers location is trivia night. So get on by and test your knowledge, win Pluckers gift cards, and spin the wheel. Every team gets to win prizes. By the way, let's do some trivia here, Muse. Hit me with my trivia music, if you would, as we get going here on this Thursday. Oh, these are good.
Do we have a theme today?
No theme.
Ooh, all right.
Okay. Oh, next week. Next week is 2000s trivia. Give me a little bit more there. A little bit more. A little more volume, if you would. A little more volume. A little more volume. A little more volume. A little more.
Ooh, that's okay.
This is why you need to ditch your cheap Apple earpods and get actual studio headphones so you can hear the balance.
If I may, I clicked a different video, so it might actually be lower coming through.
Yeah, it's lower. It is lower.
Yeah, that
a little higher.
Matt, that's almost all the way up. So I need to go back to the old video. That's what that's what I'm learning here.
I like this little ditty.
It's good, man.
Makes
it's
me
Family
feel good.
Feud.
Like Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
He's so funny. I love that guy. Hey, Muse.
He's good.
Hey, Muse.
What you got?
While Roosevelt was president, when the U.S. took over the construction of the Panama Canal, who was the president when it officially opened in 1914? And you do know that's Teddy Roosevelt, by the way.
Yeah. I don't know who was president in 1914, so I got nothing for you on that right now.
Come on.
I've got nothing. It's a blank. 14. Is that Yeah. Nope.
Woodrow Wilson.
Would have never got that.
When I was a kid, I had to memorize all the presidents and succession.
Never had to do that.
That's one of those things that stuck, oddly.
Yeah.
What? Hey, Muse.
Oh, wait. Yeah, sorry.
Hey, Muse.
What you got?
What was the title character's occupation on Frasier?
He was a psychiatrist.
He was a psychiatrist. Very good. We would not have accepted radio host.
Okay.
Although he did have a radio show.
He did have a radio
We would
show.
not have accepted psychologist either. He was a psychiatrist.
There's
You know
a
the
difference.
You know the difference?
Actually, no. Do you know? I mean, are you going to? Yeah. Can you tell me? Actually, I don't.
Psychiatrists can prescribe medicine.
Oh, because it's something simple, like technicality, basically.
That's not really technicality. It's pretty significant. You're talking about neuromeds. Like, that's,
yeah, but I mean,
neuromeds ain't nothing to be
they
messing
study
around.
the same thing. One can just prescribe the pills.
I like when the families dance on Family Feud.
Yeah, and they clap. They all clap
That's
together.
what I was doing. Come on, everybody!
Good answer. Good answer.
Hey,
It's the worst answer.
Worst
But the
answer
worst
like,
answer
there's
ever.
no way it's up there.
Yeah.
That's no way.
I
When
love
Steve's
that.
like, I'll give you every dollar I own if that's up there. Hey, Muse.
What up?
Which 2009 American film was titled Very Bad Trip in France?
Wait, didn't you just give me the title? I don't.
In France, the movie was titled Very Bad Trip. It had a different title in America.
Oh,
its
okay.
American release had a different title. Well, I should say it had
Okay,
title.
that's a kind of a confusing question.
It is poorly worded. In France, it had a different title.
So I'm giving you the American title.
Yes.
Or okay.
Well, I just gave you the French title.
Okay,
Very Bad
okay.
Trip.
I'm sorry. Confused. A very bad trip. Yeah, I don't know.
How did you feel on Sunday morning?
Oh, I was very, very hungover. So I'm gonna say the hangover.
Hey!
Yeah, we were. Whew.
Now give me the bing. Give me the ding.
Okay.
All right. By the way, speaking of dings, Pluckers trivia tonight, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Y'all get on by. Watch the LSU basketball game tonight. And might I mention as well, we got some Otter locks coming your way. More action tonight. The Otter yesterday, 2-0-1. And I'm going to tell you, if you got the 6.5 on Eastern Washington, you were 3-0. So really good. The Otter is I have restored my faith in the Otter after his very poor debut on the Maction Action. If you want to bet on Maction Action, by the way, you can go to DraftKings, official sports betting partner of AFR, official sports betting partner of the NFL, official sports betting partner of the NBA. If you're a new customer, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. I'm curious what NBA games we got tonight. We know the Pels are playing tonight. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 money line bet on any of the NBA game, any NBA game. $5 money line bet. If you hit, they'll give you $200 in free bets. Like, I'm looking for the biggest line. Like right now, Boston's a 13-point home favorite tonight against the Pistons. So download the app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 money line bet on Boston. If they just win over the Pistons tonight, they'll give you $200 in free bets. It's incredible. It's DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Stepped up same game parlays. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. The more legs you add, the more you can win up to 100% boost on stepped up same game parlays. It's all at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Bonus issued as free bets. One boost per eligible game. Opt-in required. Parlay and wagering restrictions apply. Eligibility and terms at DraftKings.com/football terms. Licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-877-7-0-STOP.
AFR.
Brought to you by Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Told you yesterday the good news. The G team has added yet another LSU athlete this time, and it is official now. Jaden Daniels has been welcomed to the G team, quarterback of the Tigers. What a performance by Jaden Daniels this year. Now Jaden Daniels is part of the G team, and we are thrilled to be part of the G team as well. We always say, get Gordon, get it done. You've heard Gordon. He was on the show earlier this week. You've seen him on billboards. You've heard him on radio. You've seen him on TV. You've seen him everywhere. Gordon's so invested in our community. He's got the philanthropic arm of the law firm as well. Gordon gives, and in so many ways they do that to give back to the community, not just through these great NIL deals to help support student athletes at LSU and schools all over the state of Louisiana, but so many other things like coming up on Veterans Day. Gordon partnered with Lit Pizza. The first 20 veterans at every Lit Pizza on Veterans Day, a free pizza courtesy of Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. Get Gordon and get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and...
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. One thing left to do. Find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks. Presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and of an incomprehensible 2-0-1 last night on his Maction action. It's the Oddfather himself, Jimmy. Otter, how are you?
You're doing great. I mean, I see the pictures been floating around on social media. I think Musa looks great, bare-chested with the white overalls, the megaphone. I mean, he looks good doing that. Yell practice. Musa will be where for the holidays? A, Christmas in November. B, Lee Michaels. C, yell practice.
Texas A&M! Texas A&M!
All right, by the numbers, here we go.
Good
LSU.
job last night, Otter. Man, we were a half point away if you got the 6.5 with Eastern Michigan from a 3-0 night. But really good job, man, last night.
Yeah, we that one kind of backdoored for the push last night. They were up 17. But anyway, here we go. I heard a lot of talk about the numbers. Here's LSU's chances to run the table. First of all, they're 3-point favorite on Arkansas, minus 150. They're projected to be an 8-point favorite at A&M, 11-point dog should they advance to the SEC championship game.
Okay.
That parlay, the money line parlay, was played 845. Extrapolate the percentages, 11.76% to run the table.
Okay.
So that's the biggest thing that LSU has in front of them. Something, if LSU and Tennessee went out, something unprecedented is happening.
Yeah.
You know, a team with the less losses beat them from the same conference, beat them at their place. That's never happened. And an SEC champions never been left out. LSU currently right now is plus 500 at your friends at DraftKings to make it to the playoff, minus 750. 3 teams are minus money. Georgia minus 2,500, Ohio State minus 650, Tennessee is minus 240. Give you an idea of what they think about
1 minute
there.
remaining.
Okay. Michigan plus 140. Here's your matching. Okay, first game. All games go at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
Northern Illinois and Western Michigan under 49.5.
Okay.
Okay, that's on the ESPN, CBS Sports Channel. Kent State and Bowling Green. Bowling Green, we should have covered. It was a tough one. Guy goes into the end zone. He just forgot the ball at the half-yard line. Thank you. All right, so they're at home, 4-1 in the league against 2-3 Kent State. Catching 2.5. Catching 2.5.
I'm looking
We're
at
going
3.
with Bowling Green. Okay, well, you got 3.
Yeah. At DraftKings, yeah.
All right, let's get on it. And then Central Michigan is 2-3 in the league, favorite at home over Buffalo is 4-1. Taking Central Michigan. Central Michigan, Bowling Green, under Western Michigan, Northern Illinois. We're at Finbomb. I got the TV on ESPN2. I got my laptop on ESPNU, and I got my phone on CBS Sports Channel. Maction. Come on by and see us here for a little Finbomb.
Have a great show, Otter. We'll see you.
AFR.
All right, as we get on down the road, we remind you about GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. Hey, remember, if you're in the market for a new home, make sure you get in touch with a local loan officer from GMFS Mortgage. Get pre-qualified today. No lender in Louisiana closes more loans annually than GMFS Mortgage. In fact, they're number 11 in the country when it comes to loans. GMFSmortgage.com. Hit the loan officers tab at the top. Look, right now, a lot of people looking around going, man, rent's going up, everything's cost going up, interest rates have gone up. We all know that. But in so many instances, it is still cheaper to own your own home than to rent. Don't think you can? Talk to a loan officer at GMFS Mortgage first. GMFSmortgage.com.
When I was a boy, I spent my days climbing trees, catching fish. Barefoot in the river I walked, listening to crickets, counting stars. This was home. After my stroke, I wondered if I'd make it back to the people and places I love. But I got the right doctors with Blue Cross coverage. Your card matters. Your home does too.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Want more customers? Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers. Visit us online at runningboardsmarketing.com so we can drive your message to where the people are.